Sorry, I was muted. You think you do this like 700 times and you don't mess that part up. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Welcome back to the Market Close. We are here today, folks. We got a bit of a green day in a lot of different sectors, not just the actual indices, but some different sectors that really are lighting up in a pretty exciting way. One of those sectors is Bitcoin, and as a result, we've got crypto with Robinhood, Coinbase, MicroStrategy. We've got quantum names that are going absolutely bonkers today. So we'll be talking about that. And then after the bell, we have a bunch of earnings. Today we have Autodesk, Intuit, Workday, and Deckers, and then Raw Stores. So 5 companies, one of those being more consumer, a couple of those being software, and then another one of those being also consumer with Deckers. So we're going to be getting into all those earnings after the bell. And we will keep going from there. Now, one thing is that Twitter is not really working, or X. It's like having some weird bug across the entire platform, and I have a lot of my news sources on X. So we might have a little bit of hiccups in the stream, just trying to get information, but I don't know what's going on with the platform today, especially on desktop. It's being like really weird. I know a lot of you guys are already experiencing some of that stuff here. So yeah, hopefully we can still get the news as quick as possible, even with the platform being down. Also, we have Webull earnings. I forgot. We got Webull. earnings. That as well. So bunch of those earnings. Let me know if you own any of those names: Webull, Intuit, Deckers, Ross, Workday, and Autodesk. So those are the companies that we're looking at currently after that. Okay, first big news of the day, and this one is definitely a big one. Someone bought Amazon, and that someone just so happens to be Mr. Billy Ackman. Bill freaking Ackman decides to put his hat in the ring for Amazon. Now, why did he buy Amazon? This was not disclosed on the 13Gs or 13Fs. Amazon's up a little bit on this news, 1.27%, not really pumping that heavily on it, but it is pumping just a bit. The reason he did that is because executives, not Bill Ackman himself, but executives at Pershing Square Management, which is his company, told investors on a call today they believe CEO Andy Jassy is doing an incredible job, and they don't feel tariffs will have any major impacts. So this kind of came out of nowhere. He sold Canadian Pacific, which is the railroad company, and he swapped it for Amazon. So now he owns 2 of the Mag 7s, Amazon and Google. Google also not having the worst day, 171. It was at 175. Now it's at 171. But overall still holding the 170s, which is nice for Google. And now Ackman is in Amazon. CoreWeave, which was having a good day, is now down. I don't think there was any news to get CoreWeave to come down about 6%, but you know, it was up 200% over the past couple of, or not 200%, like about 90% over the past week. It was at 115. So probably got to the height of the chasing. They did dilute shareholders yesterday as well. So maybe some people taking profits right here. I didn't see any major headlines that would cause this thing on CoreWeave, but you are getting a little bit of dump right here. And this is natural. This is normal. This stock was $60 a week ago. So, I mean, for it not to be 120 anymore, I think is rather reasonable, but you have some people here taking profits. HIMS as well, down about 8.3%. It tried to bounce during the day back to 57, really couldn't get a hold of it. Now, one piece of news on HIMS that was important is that they rolled out a new offer with Wegovy for $549 a month for 6 months, and the move aims to make proven obesity treatments more affordable and widen access to Hims and Hers full weight loss program. That is down substantially from what they usually charge, which is good, right? It's not a bad offer, but that Cigna Health news along with that Novo partnership yesterday after hours is really what got the stock getting hit, down about 9% currently right now. So you got Hims and Hers down about 9%. Robinhood had a good day. I bought more Hood. I posted on Twitter. I think I bought 20 shares in the morning at 64, bought 100 shares yesterday at 63.7. I just continue to be bullish on Hood. Either that's going to be degenerate or it's going to work out towards the end of the year. One of the things that's helping Hood right now is obviously Bitcoin at 111.187. We did hit 111.9 in the morning. So we did not crack over, or no, we did crack over 112. 112.04. I remember getting that notification during the day. So we did crack over it just for a little bit. And now Bitcoin right here at 111 currently right now. So you have Hims that's down 9%. You have CoreWeave that's down 6%. You have Ackman who's buying Amazon. And then you have Mr. Martin Shkreli, who says the insane run in quantum computing is one of the best opportunities since the last great bubbles and mini bubbles. Weed stocks, 3D printing, autonomous driving, subprime, and .com. These stocks will, capital will, drop 90 to 95%. How and when to put the trade on, that's up to you. Okay, obviously his short position is not doing that well in the context of quantum, and it's not just QBTS. So D-Wave, great day. That's up 24%. Then you got IONQ. That's up 36%. And then you got Rigetti. That's up 26%. So I don't know how short he is, Quantum, but I know he has a pretty massive position. It's not working out. He's obviously trying to get people to realize it's a bubble. Is it a bubble? I don't know. Are the valuations aggressive? Of course. But investors may be willing to look past that for now, especially given that these stocks fell 70% back in March when Jensen said that they are a decade away. Maybe they're not a decade away. So Quantum names, incredible day. Along with some of these other Mac 7 names that are getting a bit of a pump. And then GameStop. I said in the morning, GameStop has been the worst performing meme stock. And what do you know? GameStop decides to say, screw you, Amit. We're going up 8% today. Why is GameStop up? I think I saw a headline about a provision that is allowing them to get more serious about buying Bitcoin. They already got permission from their board of directors, I think 2 months ago, to be able to use the $4.5 billion they have in cash to buy Bitcoin. To my understanding, they haven't actually bought Bitcoin. Ryan Cohen did buy 500,000 shares, though, a month ago. So, maybe the CEO has some confidence on what they're trying to do, but I don't know exactly why it's up 8.45% today. But yeah, it is pumping. Webull as well. We're going to have earnings for Webull in a bit. Webull, they are up 7% as well. The street's expecting an implied move that either gets Webull down to 950 or 1650. So this one's going to be a high flyer after hours within the implied volatility. But we're going to see what it looks like. Let's make our watch list for today. So today is what, 5/22? Dude, we're almost in June. It's kind of crazy, right? So we got Deckers. We got Webull. I might as well do this on Webull. I should do this on after hours. Robinhood Legend still is weird all the time. Okay, so we have, and these are all the quantum stocks, by the way. Rigetti, IONQ, D-Wave, and then Qubit. All of those up about 20% on the day. All right, who's being a degen and buying some of these? Who's being a degen and buying some of these before earnings? We got Webull, we got Deckers, we got Intuit, we have Autodesk, and then we have Workday, and then Ross Stores. So these are the ones that we're going to be looking at going into the close. Why are you guys saying Deckers? A bunch of you guys saying Deck. All right. I guess we'll see how many shoes they sold today. Amit, why is MicroStrategy not moving? So again, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with, well, no, you have to be, because we talked about it in the morning, this MetaPlanet thing, and it gets to MicroStrategy. So this stock's down 40% today. It was up like 200% yesterday. I found out today, and I can't believe that investors actually are doing this, but congrats to them. MicroStrategy is trading at 2 times their net asset value, 1.8 times. MetaPlanet is also a Bitcoin treasury company in Japan. They are trading at 10 times their net asset value of their Bitcoin. So investors are paying, well, I think today it's a little bit less than 10 times because it's down 40%. But yesterday, people were paying 10 times the amount of Bitcoin they have on the balance sheet to buy the stock. So to answer your question, Tom, why is MicroStrategy not moving? I think it's because Saylor is obviously diluting shareholders, selling shares at the money. I can't confirm this, but this is usually what happens when Bitcoin's up and MicroStrategy's down. And they're doing that to buy more Bitcoin. And if you believe in MSTR, you believe in the thesis, you're kind of happy with Saylor doing this because they need to get the money from somewhere. The easiest way is to tap into the equity markets, sell shares, and then use that money to buy more Bitcoin. Long-term Bitcoin outperforms. MicroStrategy stock should do well. Japan and MetaPlanet is doing the same thing, but their premium was just like the most egregious premium I've seen on a Bitcoin treasury company ever. And that's why that stock is probably down 40%, but it was up 200% yesterday. So, people have made good money on it. It's just if you chased it in the morning or chased it last night, that one is getting you hit. Does anyone own Webull? Does anyone own Webull at all? I was trying to look at some of Webull's financials. I didn't really get a good glimpse of them, so I can't say I have a decent understanding of it. I do know that they're doing about 1.2 billion of revenue a year. Stocks trading at 6.2 billion. Have about $1 billion of debt. The financials didn't look horrible. I would not be surprised to see this at 20 after hours. This is the first IPO since they went public. So they tend to want to have a good IPO after you go public. So I think Webull's going to do well. I really do. But given I don't know that much about the company, it could do wrong. Intuit usually is, 3-4% move, nothing crazy. Autodesk should be fine. Workday, SaaS company, all the SaaS companies have done well this quarter, including Snowflake. So I think that should be okay. And then Deckers, you guys are saying Jeremy likes Deckers. I didn't know that. So based on, I guess, his due diligence, we'll see today what happens with this one. But they sell a bunch of stuff, shoes, sneakers, outdoor materials, and the impact on tariffs on them I think is going to be important. S&P is red. S&P just went red. Whoa, that's a red candle. Got 4 minutes until the close. Weird. That's yeah. Wow, look at that. All right, so I don't know if there's any news that broke just now. It's slightly going back green. Got a red candle down to 582. This thing was at around 585. Is Trump talking? Well, actually, I think he's live with RFK. He's not live yet, though. He will be, I think, in like 20 minutes. I don't really have access to a lot of news because Twitter is not working today. Like, my account's barely loading, so it's going to be a little hard to get real-time updates. But something might be happening right here. Did China invade Taiwan? How do you guys jump to the craziest conclusions for a dollar move on the S&P? Did China invade Taiwan? I would hope that didn't happen. If that did happen, I think we would be down a little bit more on the S&P. Hims right here down 8%. Robinhood, yeah, dude, everything took a red candle, dude. Robinhood was showing at 65.50. They brought her down to where I bought it at this morning, 64.70. Nvidia just had this red candle. Something just happened. GTA 6 got delayed again. Dude, this just lets me know how important X is. I don't have any news. Like how do I get the news? What is the real-time source that people use for news? I don't have the Bloomberg terminal, so. And if it does load, it's showing me tweets from 10 hours ago, so nothing's relevant right now. We're going to have to figure this out. We will have to figure this out. All right, we got 3 minutes. Back to CNN. Oh my gosh. All right, we got 3 minutes until market closes. By the way, solar stocks decimated. SolarEdge down 25%. Enphase down 20%. Sunrun down 37%. That's because the House bill includes a provision to get rid of the subsidy that is important for residential solar panels. So that one passing through the House on a very narrow vote, 215 to 214, is the reason that those are down. Bitcoin right here, 111. Even Bitcoin took a red candle. Even Bitcoin taking a red candle. Yeah, there it is. It was at 111.5. Now it's at 111.1. So kind of everything. What about the quantum? Did quantum names get hit just now? Quantum names? No, quantum still. I mean, the very small red candle, but the quantum names are still holding into the close. Nvidia right here, 132.94. S&P just slightly going green, but still something happened last couple minutes. Oklo, there was a headline today again about nuclear. Oklo up 7.9%. Basically, the headline had to do with AI data centers. We had that UAE announcement today with OpenAI and Sam Altman and Cisco and NVIDIA, Oracle, etc. So Oklo kind of being perceived as a big winner when it comes to AI data centers. Also, they did beat EPS by 30% last quarter. So, you know, obviously the stock is expensive just based on the fact that they don't have earnings, but the potential is, you know, what the market is excited about. Okay, cool. Here we go. 30 seconds into earnings. We also have an Apple update that we'll talk more about, but the headline is Apple plans to launch smart glasses by the end of 2026, and they expect to produce prototypes in large quantities this year as per Bloomberg. So it looks like Apple is getting into the glasses race. I imagine they're going to be different than the Vision Pro because that one didn't work, but that might be the big update we get at WWDC later in June, and we'll see what Apple is trying to do in regards to glasses. All right, here we go. Thursday, May 22nd, 4 p.m. We got a lot of earnings. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. All right, markets closed. You guys are saying Trump tweeted. Could that be the reason why markets are down? Let's see. Did he say anything crazy? No, I don't see. Well, okay. He posted a picture of Trump 28, Trump 2036, Trump 2040, Trump 2044, and Trump 2048. It's like this video that shows a bunch of Trump signs for the future. I don't think that crashed the markets at the end of the day. I really hope that was not the I mean, I would hope that didn't crack the markets near the end, but yeah, that's the latest tweet that we have from Trump. All right, S&P 500, 583. 583. We end slightly green on the day. NVIDIA 132.83. That was up about 1%. Robinhood up about 1.43%, 64.77. SolarEdge down about 24% on the day. You have Sunrun down about 20 or 37%. Bitcoin 111.185. United Healthcare still down 2% of the day. Tesla 341. A lot of these stocks would be up another couple bucks until that last 358 red candle that we got 2 minutes before the close. I don't know what that red candle was about, but these stocks would be a little bit higher on the prices at their close if we didn't get that red candle. Navitas up 164%. 164% on the day based on that NVIDIA partnership. Google closed at Google's at 175, bro. Closed at 170. So whatever it was, algorithmically got all these stocks going down. CoreWeave down 6.7% on the day. Palantir was at 126 as well. Palantir 122, still green on the day, but not as green as it was. Apple 201, that was down about 0.36%. AT&T down about 1%. They acquired Lumen yesterday. TLT was up a little bit given the bond market chilled out during the morning and it kind of calmed down. Grab was at $5, ended at $4.96, still up 3% of the day. Rocket Lab was at $26.40, $25.82, up about 2.5% of the day. And then you had Coinbase 271, up 5% based on Bitcoin MicroStrategy itself. 399 closing. Wow, below 400. This thing was at 420 a couple days ago. Now at 399, down about 1% on the day. All right, cool. We got earnings. Earnings coming up. Ross is down 3%. Ross Stores down 3%. There you go. Ross goes down. That's our first one. Workday's also down 2%. Workday and Ross down a little bit. And then we have Autodesk that we're looking for. All right, someone has Workday earnings. Workday beats Q1 rev with 2.24 versus 2.2. That's a beat on rev. Adjusted EPS 223 versus 201. That's a beat on EPS. Margins at 28.5%. Operating income at $677 million. That is not the worst quarter against expectations. Street does not seem to like it. And it's down a little bit. Autodesk, we have those earnings. Is X working again? I think. Yes, X is working again. Okay, cool. X is back to normal. So here we go. Autodesk. Well, this is Workday. These are the numbers on the screen right here. Beat by 11% on EPS and beat by 1% on revenues. Intuit's up. Let me get those in a second. This is Autodesk. Autodesk, we've got 7%, 229 versus 215 on EPS. That's a beat. 1%, 1.63 versus 1.61. That's a beat. Revenue's up 15% year over year. EPS is up 22% year over year. For Autodesk, that stock is up 2%. Intuit's up 4%. Weeble's up 3.4%. And Deckers is up 1.2%. So all these names besides Autodesk and Workday actually are moving up after hours. Weeble up 4%. Deckers up 1%. Intuit up 4%. Let me see if I can get Intuit's earnings. And then Autodesk is up 2% as well. Currently right now. I'll try to get Weeble as well. I know Weeble's the big one. Let me see if I can get that easily. Intuit. Okay, so Intuit, 7% beat on EPS, 1165 versus 1091. That's a nice beat. That's up 18% year over year. Revenue's up 15%, 7.75 billion versus 7.76 billion. There you go. Intuit. Yeah, Intuit's moving. $700 after hours. Wow, Intuit, $186 billion company. Getting a 6% move after hours. Webull now is up 2%. It got rejected at 14.19. No numbers yet on Webull. Deckers up 2.4%. But Intuit, that's a good one, dude. Intuit's a company we should, even if you don't own it, you want to see that one get a lot of love, given it's a big software company and good for the SaaS space. Ross is now down 9%. Ross is now down 9%. Their earnings, they beat by 2% on EPS, beat by 1% on revenue. So they had a beat on the top and the bottom. Quarter over quarter declines on EPS and revenue by about 18%. Revenue's up 3%. EPS is up 1% year over year. I guess not enough guidance, probably not the best given the tariffs. And that's why that one might be getting hit. GameStop after hours. GameStop was up 10% of the day. After hours up another 1%. Currently right now. Oh yeah, tax season. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Intuit, they own QuickBooks. That is very important for tax season as well. Webull. Okay, so Webull was pumping. Now it's not. It was up 4%. Now it's up 1.5. Deckers is down 8. Is it? Oh boy, Deckers. Deckers is down 8. Let's see if I can get those numbers. Don't have them yet, but it looks like they're not pretty. Deckers is prone to tariffs. I think they get a decent amount of their outdoor products probably imported across the world, most likely from China. So that one could definitely be getting hit. Okay, Deckers, here we go. Okay, this is I don't know why it's getting hit this badly. They beat by 67% on EPS. That seems to be rather good. $1 versus 60 cents. And then 1.02 billion versus 1.01 billion. They beat on revenue by 1%. EPS is up 20% year over year. Revenue is up 6% year over year. Something they said about Q2 has to be getting this stock down 10%. My goodness. 10% down. Deckers, by the way, Deckers is also in the S&P 500. They got in before Palantir got in June of 2024. Deckers right here down 9% currently right now. Yeah, Weeble's not out yet. Weeble, whatever movement's happening is not because of the stock market or not because of earnings. It's just speculation right now. Workday is down 3%. Workday had good numbers. They beat on the top and bottom by 3-4%. Guidance maybe a little bit light. Same thing probably that Palo Alto dealt with. Let's see if that one recovered at all today. Palo Alto, yeah, it was up 3%. Palo Alto basically getting to where it was right before earnings. So these moves are rather inconsequential. Okay, Webull just went red for a second. Now it's back to going green. It looks like numbers are coming up pretty soon on this one. Up a little bit after hours, but not anything major. Trump is live. Yes. Wait, he wasn't live. Is he live now? Okay, he's live in a Make America Health Again commission event. So I don't think anything he's going to say necessarily is going to affect the markets, at least not all the markets, given he's talking about health and stuff like that. It started like 5 seconds ago. We'll get some updates from it if he takes questions from reporters as well, but he's with RFK, and they're probably talking about health or something. Was Webull a SPAC? Yes, Webull was a SPAC. Yeah, Franny and Fetty, good day as well for them. I mean, that stock was up 47%. It was up 34% in the morning. Now it's up 47% for the day. The common shares, I mean, Trump talked about taking it public, and the market liked it. So that one up 47.5% currently on the day. Deckers down 9%. It is kind of following Nike, right? Yeah, Nike had the same reaction. They had a little bit of a pump right before they fell. Deckers, yeah, it got to 130, and then it fell. Now it's at 115. Webull, I still don't have the numbers on Webull. So I will be looking for Webull. Navitas, that one was up during the day. Is it moving after hours? No, it's down 5% after hours. It was up 164% during the day. Again, they had an NVIDIA partnership yesterday. It's down a little bit after hours, 5% right now. Trump has a dinner gala tonight. Oh, yeah. Doesn't he have the Trump meme coin thing tonight? Today is the day where if you're a top 200 holder, you get to get invited to a dinner with him in DC. I think he does have that thing tonight. That's actually, is Trump coin getting affected? Huh. Trump meme coin is up 8% right now, or 8% on the day. Maybe we'll see some updates of that later in the day. But yeah, May 22nd, that today is the day he's supposed to have this dinner with his top 200 Trump coin holders. Okay, I don't have Webull's numbers yet, guys, but I'm waiting for them. What all of you guys asking about Webull is telling me that a lot of you guys are invested in Webull. So let's see what these numbers look like. I do not have them yet at all. Let me check on their actual website. Webull volume today, by the way, 14 million shares. Average volume is 4 million. So this one definitely getting some speculation going into earnings. Webull to release first quarter results May 22nd. Nope, nothing yet. It's supposed to be today, but I have nothing yet. GameStop, is that moving after hours? GameStop. Wow, GameStop's moving 3%. I picked the worst day. To say GameStop has been the crappiest meme stock all year. Even with this 10% move, it has. Like, there's been a lot of better meme stocks. But literally, I said that in the morning, and then nice little 10%. Nice little 10% on GME. You might say it's roaring. Yes, exactly. Why did SPY jump at the end of the day? I still don't know. It might have been algos. I still don't know why exactly we got that little bit of a dump towards the end of the day. I don't know why GameStop's moving, but it was up 10%, then 2%. I would imagine Ryan Cohen or Roaring Kitty or someone is going to announce something, or we're going to see some tweet, but so far we don't know. Webull still don't have the numbers. They should be out by now, unless they're like a 415 type of company. But on their website, it says after the bell, results will be out. We just don't see them yet. SPY sells when GME pumps. Yeah, maybe that's honestly, dude. Honestly, I mean, that might be one that Webull's good for Robinhood, dude, or not Robinhood. GameStop's good for Robinhood because one of the top 10 stocks on freaking Robinhood by assets is GameStop. So if that thing pumps, it still does help Robinhood as well. Okay, here was the earnings on Ross. Let's get some coverage there, and then I will be looking for Webull.
Ross Stores earnings are out. Courtney Reagan has those numbers. Hi, Court.
Hi, Morgan. So stronger than expected quarter for Ross Stores. They're reporting $1.47. The street was looking for $1.44. Revenues at $4.98 billion. The expectations were for $4.97 billion. So let's call that in line. And when it comes to their same store sales, they were flat, but better than expected. The street was looking for that number to fall 0.9%. There is a note that the company does expect pressure on profitability if tariffs remain at elevated levels. And in their quarter two guidance, for earnings per share of $1.40 to $1.55. That's below the street's expectations of $1.65. They do note an 11 to 16 cent tariff impact. So I think that is important, an important note there. And then they are looking for sales to be flat to up 3% for the second quarter. Shares here of Ross down almost 9% in immediate reaction. Back over.
All right, so that's Ross. Webull. So the call is at 5 p.m., not the earnings on Webull. That would be really weird, dude. Like very few companies release their earnings at 5 p.m. You have the call at 5. Also, the analysts need to see the numbers to like ask questions for the call. So on their website, it says after the market close, we will release results and then have a call at 5 p.m. So I don't know why we're not seeing numbers, but yeah, they have to do it at least 30 minutes before the call. That doesn't make any sense. But no one has the numbers on this. No one has the numbers yet. Intuit is up 6% after hours. This one had the best earnings so far. Autodesk as well, up 6%. Workday down 4%. Ross down 8%. And Deckers. Trying to see some more guidance on Deckers, but that one's getting hit at 9%. If it's at 4:15, then in 2 minutes we should get it. We should get it in 2 minutes if it's at 4:15. If not, then I guess we'll have to wait till 4:30 or 5. The market's dumped because of what Wells Fargo said about emerging markets. Okay, I'll try to find what they said, but I don't know if emerging markets would cause that type of a dump. It's not really a dump. I mean, we kind of went back to just neutral versus, actually super negative. That is a bit weird that it happened in those last 2 minutes. Yeah, Decker's still getting hit right here. Goodness gracious, dude. 10.84%. That one's not stopping. Where's the 10-year after hours? It was at 4.6 in the morning. It's at 4.54, which is nice. Still pretty bad, but it is coming down. That 20-year was at 5.1. 20 years now at 5.06. So that one's also chilling off a little bit. And then the S&P for the day ended, flat, literally flat. It went to 586. Now it's at 583. The Qs also ended flat, 514. Hood after hours flat. HIMS still continues to go down 7% on the day. Bitcoin 111.3. Bitcoin getting back to where it was during the day. Amazon again. Bill Ackman bought Amazon. For those that missed it, we don't know how many shares or how much money, but he did take a position in Amazon. And so now he owns Amazon and Google as his max. 7 picks Google right here, 170.87 on the day. Can you talk about MicroStrategy lagging? So again, we talked about it. MSTR, they are likely, my speculation, selling shares at the money, so diluting shareholders by putting more shares into the market. Someone is willing to buy them at $3.99 right now. And when the company issues stock that dilutes shareholders, but that gives them proceeds, they take that stock and they do stuff with it. In this case, Saylor buys Bitcoin. So there's nothing, magical about it. I think if there's more shares out there, you own less of the company, you get diluted, the stock tends to go down. Unless the market is giving up the premium that they give to MicroStrategy, right? Like naturally the market's like, hey, we don't feel like paying this type of premium anymore. But that's not happened historically for the past 2 years. Like it's always been a beta of about 2 in regards to that net asset value premium. So to me, you would have to have something to actually get the stock to come down, not investor sentiment to go down. Also at Bitcoin all-time highs, what person is concerned about MicroStrategy's net asset value premium? Like no one cares, right? People just want exposure. So this is the company doing something to cause this versus like sentiment going down, in my opinion. Webull's up 5%. All right, there we go. Webull, we got a green candle. Let me see if I can get the numbers. Webull is green. Let's see if it can hold. It's looking a little ugly. It's kind of going red and green. It's got to hold at least at 3 to 4%, I think, for us to see if it's legit. 2.5 almost went red for a second. 2.2. Numbers, Webull, what do we got? I don't have it yet. Let's see. Webull. What do they have? No, I don't have the numbers. Does anyone have the numbers? Yes. Okay, here we go. Numbers. All right, here we go. I'm going to rattle them off. Webull, this is how the stock's doing. Revenue up 32% year over year to 117 million. Trading revenue up 52% year over year. Operating expenses decreased 2% year over year to 96 million. Adjusted operating expenses 2.4%. Income before income taxes 29.3 million. Net income 25.5 million. So they're profitable. That's up year over year. They lost money last year. Now they're profitable. Equities was 128 billion in volume. That's up 15%. Options 121 million. That's up 8%. Darts 924,000. That's your daily active revenue trades. That's up 44% year over year. Funded accounts, 4.7 million people have an account on Webull. That's up 10% year over year. That's not good growth, though. That's like when I look at Robinhood's numbers, they're growing 10% year over year on new accounts. Options are only up 8% year over year. We just had a crazy bull market. Equities are only up 15% year over year. I mean, these are okay numbers, but it's not like, oh my goodness, like Webull's the next big thing, right? Like these aren't crazy numbers. Revenue also, I don't know if this is a typo, but I thought they were doing 300 million a quarter. No, it's not a typo. No, it's not. 117 million. 100. So revenue's up 32%. That's good. But 117 million is just it's a far cry from what I thought they would do. Their assets under custody are 12 billion. That's also not a lot. I mean, the growth rate is good on that, but that's not, I kind of thought Webull was bigger than this. I really did. I thought the growth rate looks great, and I know the company's only worth $6 billion, so like obviously the valuation is reflecting the fact that they're not as big as like a Schwab or Fidelity or anything. But I did think they would be bigger than this. Stock's now dropping after hours, down about 0.5%. I don't think you sell this stock based on those earnings. Those earnings don't look bad. But the stock was already up 7% going into it. So maybe the earnings weren't explosive enough to get the market to be excited. Maybe that's why. Also, I think the company is headquartered in the US. I don't think this is a Chinese company, but I don't think they're like, I don't think when you're buying it, you're buying a ADR that's located in China. Yeah, it's you're buying an actual stock on the US stock exchange, on the NYSE, I believe. So, now it's getting a little hit. Now 3.5%. Now it's red. Now it's red. Okay, that one's getting hit. For a $6 billion stock, it's good. Agreed. To caveat what I'm saying, for a $6 billion company, these numbers are good. I just kind of thought like 10% growth in user accounts. I just, that's not enough growth, bro. That's just not a lot of growth. We're in a really good market. I mean, we're in a market where there's enough volatility where people are interested about stocks. You should be growing users way more than 10%. And then equities is only up 15% year over year. Like that's just weird. I feel like that would be at least 30%. Autodesk up 5%. Workday's down 6%. Ross is down 9%. Decker is down 10%. And Webull right here down 2.8%. It would not be surprising if this one reversed after the call. 2% is really nothing on Webull given how volatile it is, but it is red. It is red. Where's AMD after hours? AMD was down about 1.2% on the day. MicroStrategy still down a little bit. And then S&P flat a little bit after hours. Intuit was the best one, 7%. Intuit really was the best one today. 7% on Intuit. Okay, let me see if I can get some more coverage on some of these names and see what we've got going on. I'll try to get the exact Webull numbers in a second. Let me pull that on their website. Let's see what we have there. And then we'll keep going. Let's see. Okay, I think this is Intuit. Yeah, this is Intuit. Let me pull up Intuit and then I'll get Webull.
Earnings growth potential.
When you come to the small and medium-sized businesses versus being so connected to manufacturing, the guide stronger than expected here. I wonder, given the earnings season that we expected back in early April and the one that we've gotten, a lot more guidance perhaps. Our investors...
Intuit did beat on guidance for Q2. That's also why they're excited. All right, here's Webull. Here we go. Here's what we got on Webull. Here we go. Webull stock is flat after hours. No, down 1.2. It was down 3. Now it's down 1.2. Deckers is down 11. All right, Webull. Revenue 32% year over year on top line revenue, 117 million. Customer assets increased 45% year over year, primarily driven by customer net deposits. CEO says, we are proud to have delivered a very strong first quarter, driven by significant account and trading volume growth that reflects continued demand for Weeble's differentiated trading platform. We believe our results speak to the strong value proposition, reliable and innovative platform, and focusing global distribution to meet the needs of our sophisticated retail customers. Moving forward, we will remain focused on broadening our product portfolio, introducing new asset classes, and expanding access to customers globally, all with the goal of strengthening the customer experience. In the first quarter, we continued to execute on our strategy and achieved impressive momentum across the business, growing total revenues by 32%. We continue to see strong account growth as our global teams execute across our strategy in 2025. Revenue up 32%, trading revenue up 52% year over year, OpEx down 2%, income before taxes $29.3 million, assets up 45% year over year, $12.6 billion, users up 17% year over year, registered users, funded accounts is up 10% year over year. That's kind of what matters more than users, is the amount of people actually putting money in their accounts. Equities volumes up 15%, options up 8%, and then their daily average trades is up 44% year over year. They partnered with Kalshi, so they have the whole betting thing. They're partnering with BlackRock for model portfolios, and they launched the Weeble Premium, which is a subscription product. All right, that's what you got on Weeble. That's what you got. I mean, the growth is not super impressive, but it's also not something to scoff at. But the stock kind of made its move. It was up 7% during the day. So this was one where option sellers, again, right, kind of benefited from it. If you sold calls going into it, then at least as of now, you kind of benefited from selling the volatility. Intuit 9%. Wow, dude. Whatever Intuit said was pretty damn good, I guess. Intuit right here, 9.3%. NVIDIA after hours. How's that doing? NVIDIA is up a little bit right here after hours. The Qs are up a little bit. GameStop was up 3%. That GameStop pump is gone after hours. Something wonky is happening with GameStop. Something very wonky is happening with this stock. It was up 10% during the day, up a little bit 5 minutes ago. Now it's flat. Oklo was up 8% during the day. Hood's flat after hours. Hims down another 1% after hours, 53.11. And then United Health right here, also down a little bit after hours. Laser, did that one have earnings today? LAZR, Luminar. That's down 1.52. Didn't look at them today, but looks like there was a headline that pumped them up a little bit and then got them down towards the end of the day. And then obviously Quantum, we talked about that. I think Quantum, D-Wave announced some stuff during the week. IONQ announced a couple things. The short floats on a company like D-Wave are, 20%. So, I mean, to me, that is definitely a squeeze that's playing out right now, which, is it happens. All of them down a little bit after hours, but D-Wave up 23%, IONQ up 36%, Rigetti up 26%, and then Qubit, that was up 14% on the day. Jensen also said 2 days ago at the Taiwan conference that, the rumor is that NVIDIA is getting ready to invest in PCI Quantum, which is another quantum company. So, that could be also pumping the space in and of itself. IONQ said they were open to being acquired. Really? Huh. Who would acquire them? IBM? Google? Who would acquire? Yeah, it would have to be one of those guys. Now, would they pay this premium? Like, would they pay $11 billion for IONQ? That's still a big acquisition for Google, even though Google could afford it. But I mean, that'll pump the stock, dude. You say you're open to being acquired. Investors might get excited just to benefit from that arbitrage. Wow, Weeble. All right, so now it's getting hit, down 4%. It was down 1%. Now it's actually going red. Weeble right here, down 3.7%. NVIDIA. That's true. You could get a little bit of an NVIDIA acquisition as well. That could potentially do that. All right, here's Autodesk earnings, and then we'll get some more coverage on a couple other these names as well.
The numbers, Bertha.
Hey, Morgan, let's start with Autodesk. A beat on both the top and the bottom line. Earnings coming in at $2.29 versus the adjusted expectation for $2.15 per share. Revenues at $1.63 billion, a bit above the $1.61 billion expectation. As far as guidance, it is guiding higher, $2.44 to $2.48.
That's why that stock's up 7%. We got Intuit CEO. Let's listen to him. His stock doing the best after hours. And let's see what he has to say as well.
Fastest inorganic growth, or I should say organic growth, John, that we have had in over a decade. So growing at 15%, not just for the quarter, but also we guided up to 15% growth for the year. We expanded our margins a full point, so we're at 40% margins. It's just a spectacular across the board. The business group performance, tax is back in double digits, which is amazing, and Credit Karma had strong growth. So it's really incredible growth across the platform, and we're super excited. We're taking share across credit cards, loans, insurance. Really contributed quite nicely. We provided this year overall across our consumer platform early access to over $12 billion in refunds, and Credit Karma contributed to over a point of growth in the TurboTax business. So like across the board, based on all of our innovation, we're delivering for our customers. And I would say probably over 60%, 70% of the results is all execution, and 30% is macro. So we're really pleased with the progress.
He said AI played a role behind the scenes in Intuit's execution. I asked him how much more growth upside AI would deliver in the coming quarters as the technology improves.
Although we've been at this for 6 years, it's like a bamboo tree, which takes years to grow roots underground, and then within 6 weeks, it grows really fast. That's sort of where we are, and I just think it's the beginning of what's possible. And I think we will be in a world that's unrecognizable, frankly, a couple of years from now, not just 10 years from now, because of not only the experiences that you and I will be able to enjoy, but also just how productive our employees will become.
Tax season ended last month, and Intuit's TurboTax is a major property. Technology that puts human professionals into the flow is delivering upside now.
We had absolutely breakthrough adoption this year. Our TurboTax Live, where in essence you can get access to an expert to help you get your taxes done, or an expert will do everything for you from soup to nuts. It actually grew 24% on the customer front, and 47% on the revenue front. It's actually now 40% of the entire franchise of TurboTax. But to get to your question, it's the essence of delivering on better experiences, lower prices than anybody else in the assisted segment, and early access to money. That's really what drove the breakthrough adoption.
Finally, I asked him about his confident guide given macro conditions. He said that only about 30% of Intuit's small business customers are connected to manufacturing.
When you look at the businesses that we serve, for the most part, they're service-based businesses, and they don't get impacted by tariffs. With all that said, tariffs is on everybody's mind, right? Enterprises are thinking about what are the implications, how do we lead through it? Businesses are, consumers are. But we see pretty far down the line of our business performance, because over 80% is subscription-based and reoccurring. So we have confidence as we look ahead.
All right, that's Intuit. Great quarter. First 15% organic growth quarter in a while. Obviously, they made a lot of different stuff on TurboTax, a lot of different updates to TurboTax, which helped this quarter in particular. But Intuit not doing too bad, up about 8% after hours. We have money market inflows, folks. What do you think? Increase or decrease? Increase or decrease? We got the numbers right here. The numbers are a bit aggressive. I wouldn't say these are small numbers, but I'm curious what you think. Did people get a little scared, put some money back into those nice 4.5% yielding funds? Webull right here down 4%. Or did they get aggressive and say, it's time to buy some NVIDIA? Deckers, by the way, down 13%, 12.9%. We're going to look at their earnings in a bit. Something they said is not doing well. Deckers owns Hakka brand. They own Uggs too. I didn't know they own Uggs and Hakka. Huh. Or Hoka, however you say it. I did not know that. Well, I guess they do. There you go. All right. So we'll take a look at Deckers earnings as well, but whatever guidance they're giving, the street is not happy about. All right, money market funds. You guys ready? We got a $27 billion increase in money market funds. Money left risk assets and it went into something safe. Some of this is also interest on those money market funds, but in general, you got to increase $6.97 trillion on the sidelines. $6.97 trillion on the sidelines. Did I say Hakka wrong? Dude, it's not, nothing's worse than this morning, okay? Nothing's worse than this morning. For those that missed this morning, I thought the way you say hangar, like an airplane hangar, is Hangar, and it's spelled Hangar. So I was like, oh, Hangar. And I can't even get through what I'm reading before all the comments are like, the hell is a Hangar? I'm like, it's spelled Hangar. I don't know what controversy there could possibly be here. Apparently it's Hangar. All right, so Webull down 3.4%. Money market funds, a bit of an increase of 27 billion, 6.97 trillion on the sidelines. Deckers. Let's look at Deckers. And see what they got. So how do you say it? Hoka? That's how you say it then? Hoka? Okay, I thought it was Hoka. So here's what we got on Deckers brands. Full year revenue, 16% year over year, 5 billion. Adjusted EPS up 30%. Shares, they're buying back about 2.5 billion of shares, or they're reauthorizing the ability to buy back 2.5 billion of shares. CEO says Deckers delivered another exceptional year of results in fiscal year 2025, highlighted by Hoka and UGG brands, respective revenue growth of 24% and 13%, as well as record earnings per share. While the global trade environment has introduced greater near-term uncertainty, we are very confident in the exciting opportunities ahead for Hoka and UGG. We view these brands as industry leaders, each with iconic and innovative products that operate in differentiated marketplaces. Alongside Deckers' superb balance sheet, this positions us well to manage through the near term with a focus on the long term. Okay, net sales up 16.3%. Hoka's up 23%. UGG's up 13.1%. Other brands decreased. Other brands decreased at 8.6%. Those aren't the majority of their revenue, but still, that is red. Wholesale increased 17%. Net sales in the US up 11%. International up 26%. Gross margin was 57 versus 55. This has got to be a guidance thing. Do they give guidance? They have to have given guidance for why this is getting hit. 2.5 billion share buyback. They're expecting net sales of 890 to 910 million, diluted EPS of 67 cents, and to continue buying back their stock. Yeah, I don't know exactly what's got the street this upset. I would imagine it has to be guidance. I'm not seeing it right here. They might have given some of the numbers on their slide deck, but I guess that's what's getting. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, right? It doesn't look horrible. Deckers 14%, and it pumped to 130 before it fell. So this could be something where anything they say on the call maybe could reverse this, because that initial pump was maybe because it was a decent earnings, and then whatever number the street got upset with got it to tank after hours. Intuit right here still up 8.4%. Autodesk up 2.8%. Workday down 5%. Ross down 9%. Any consumer company that sells products, like physical products, seems to be getting hit right here. Urban Outfitters also kind of went the opposite, though, this morning, going up about 20%. And then Webull down 3% right now. Okay, this is weird. Let me switch to Trump real quick. Let's see if he's saying anything, and then we'll get back to trying to figure out what's going on with some of these stocks.
Got to do what I have to do. What's right, and I declare from now on is going to pay the exact same price as the lowest price anywhere in the world. In other words, if you take
the deck chairman retired, the chairman of the board. If that could be the reason. I'm going to confirm with that, but that could easily be the reason. If their chairman of the board retired, that could get the streets be upset right now.
In other words, if you take the country that's paying, and let's say in the a certain part of, there may be some country out there that pays a little bit less for very good reasons because of the fact, a thing called poverty or whatever. But we take the lowest country, say European Union countries as a whole, that would be fine. Or take individual countries within the European Union, or take various countries that nobody's even heard about. We pay the lowest. And what that's going to mean, and I'd like to put somebody to police it, because it should start immediately. It shouldn't start in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They'll say, yes, it kicks in. They always say kicks in, Marty. It kicks in, sir, in 4 years, and then 4 years they get it changed. It should mean, so remember I told you I was happy with 1/4%. It could mean anywhere from 70% to 89% reduction in drugs and pharmaceuticals. That's a little different, right? And I've actually had some congressmen call me and they say, sir, can we talk about this? I said, no. They wanted to talk because, that's There's tremendous power against them. And I understand that. And every one of them was covered. Senators were. I see Roger smiling, and Roger probably was too. But you know what? He wants to do the right thing, right? He wants to do the right thing. And we're doing the right thing. We're taking advantage of, and forget the drug company, we're taking advantage of by other countries that insisted with the drug companies that they were going to pay X dollars, and we're not paying any more, and you're not doing business here. And they were nasty about it because these people are almost sort of afraid of them. And we are going to now get a reduction in drug costs of up to 89% in some cases, but 50% would be a bad number. So think of that, 50% versus 1/4 of 1%. Think of that, 85, 89, 91, 72%. It's going to be massive numbers.
Robinhood just listed Mu Deng crypto coin on the platform. Ticker symbol MEW. Mu Deng. Apparently, it has something to do with cats. I don't know how this one got listed, but we'll look at that in a bit. But Mu Deng, MEW, is now on Hood.
It's going to be incredible for Medicaid, incredible for all forms of healthcare. Medicare is going to have a huge impact, so big that nobody can calculate it. I mean, this thing could drop by 25, 30%. The drugs are a very big part of it.
Mu Deng is up 14%.
Right? So very big part. So it'll affect everything. It'll affect your whole life. The amount of money you're going to be saving is going to be incalculable. Nobody can believe I had the courage to do it. I don't think it's courage. I think it would have been courage not to do it. I tell you what, not to do it would have taken far more courage because I was tired of it. And I was listening to these guys, and they make a lot of money every year, millions and millions of dollars a year. And I agree, because at the beginning, because of the complexity, you'd walk out of a room, you'd hear them talking, and, they almost convince you that it's a great system. It's a wonderful system, even though we were paying 10 times more. That's why they make $30 million a year, because.
Okay, hold on. I have to do a correction. So it's not Mu Deng, which is a cat. Mu Deng is about a hippo. That's up 15% right here. Mu Deng. And then a coin called Cat in a Dog's World, which is actual ticker symbol MEW. That's a hell of a name, is up 14%. So they have listed two coins, Cat in a Dog's World, which is ticker symbol MEW, and then Mu Deng, which is a hippo coin. That's up 15%. This is why I own Robinhood and not the coins. But for those that want to buy Mu Deng and Cat in a Dog's World, then there you go. You can buy it on Robinhood.
They were good, but not any longer. And one of them just threw up his hands after I was just pounding on him. He said, I can't do it anymore. It's the hardest thing I have to do is trying to justify this damn thing. I can't do it anymore. One of the biggest companies, I just can't do it anymore. You're right. And as soon as he said that, that was like incredible, because I understood exactly he couldn't do it. He said it's the hardest thing he had to do is trying to justify why we're paying $200 for something and somebody else is paying $12. That is a neighboring country. Take Canada. I mean, people go up to Canada to shop because the prices are so much less, and it's not going to happen anymore. So we're going to take the lowest country anywhere in the world, and that's what we're going to be paying, and we'll be saving from 50 to 89%. And these are big, these are tremendous numbers. There's not going to be anything where we're paying 10 times more than somebody else. And one thing that is very important, and it's got to be implemented. It's done. I've done the order. It's done. But we have to get somebody that's got a lot of strength and a lot of power, because you have to implement it, because and so, Robbie, I'd like to ask you and Dr. Oz and Marty, perhaps, and Jay, and maybe representing the world's politicians.
All right. So Trump's not talking about anything that really is going to affect the markets. If anyone wants to watch that, I'll put the link right here. But yeah, there's nothing really there that's going to affect the markets. He already talked about that executive order a couple of days ago around the pharmaceuticals. Webull down 6%, dude. I don't know what on that report was that bad. Granted, it's kind of just giving back everything it got during the day because it was up 7%. So maybe the report wasn't bad, but the report wasn't good enough to hold on to the day's gains. Deckers, apparently that chairman of the board stepping down is why it fell 12%, not the earnings itself. Intuit's up 8%, Autodesk up 2.8, Workday down 5, Ross down 9, and Webull down 5.5%. There you go. That's what we got for earnings. Yeah, not a crazy earnings today. I mean, across the board. Tomorrow's Friday, so tomorrow we have nothing. NVIDIA is the next big one, bro. Next week, Wednesday. Make sure you're free from 3:30 Eastern to basically 7 Eastern. NVIDIA, baby. That's the big one. Doesn't feel like the market relies on NVIDIA like it did in the past, but still a really important company for the broader AI trade, the company in the AI trade. CapEx, all the semiconductor names, that's going to be important. Then you have Salesforce, ELF, HP, but NVIDIA is the big one on Wednesday that we'll be looking at. That's it. That's what we will be seeing. Also, it's a long weekend. That could be another reason we had some volatility today. I mean, I don't know how many people want to hold some of these names going into the weekend. I don't know if you want to be short going into the weekend based on what Trump could be saying on Monday or Sunday. We were supposed to get a new trade deal this week, or at least rumors of a trade deal. We got some rumors of India and Japan, but no official announcements. Maybe next week we do, and that could be announced over the weekend as well. Friday sell-off tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised by it, although last week it was a Friday rally until Moody's after hours. So I think we're really just going to have to see how it plays out. Nike right here up 2% on the day, and then the NASDAQ was also basically flat on the day. Bitcoin below 111, 110.9. But we were pretty much holding above 110 all day, dude. I don't even think we touched 109 today. So it's one of those days where it's kind of normal looking at Bitcoin above 100,000. Oh, yeah, today is Bitcoin Pizza Day, for those that don't know. Today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. Today is the day. Everyone knows the Bitcoin Pizza story, right? Does everyone know it? Does anyone here not know the Bitcoin Pizza story? This is the most iconic story around Bitcoin Pizza. I'll play a clip right here for those that don't know it, but it is a little bit of a sad story.
Money makes the world go around, but we could be moving towards a world without cash. From credit cards to Apple Pay and cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, cash is no longer king.
When I say Bitcoin, you say what? Pizza.
This is Laszlo Hanyet of Jacksonville, and it was a pizza delivery.
They did this video 5 years ago, so the prices are going to be off, but just imagine what it would be like based on today's $111,000 price.
Order 9 years ago that began the cryptocurrency craze.
I just told people I wanted a pizza and I want to pay with Bitcoin. I didn't want a gift card. I didn't want some weird exchange. I wanted to give you Bitcoin and you give me pizza.
The 37-year-old computer programmer created this thread in an online forum and posted that he would pay someone 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas. A user from England took him up on the offer, and these pizzas were delivered to Hanyet's home. At the time, the 10,000 Bitcoins were worth about $40. Today, they would be worth 100 million.
People ask me, oh,
And today they would be worth $1 billion.
man, what an idiot. Why don't you keep that Bitcoin? And it's like, well, you know, somebody had to start it off.
The pizza was purchased at this Papa John's on Atlantic Boulevard. There's even a plaque on the wall with the date May 22nd, 2010, and a proclamation that Jacksonville is the home of the first Bitcoin purchase. Tim Mosbach is the general manager.
It's just nice to see history being made here.
So here's how you slice it on how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies work. It's like buying and selling a stock.
So, dude, I mean, I don't know. I've sold stocks too early. I'm sure some of you guys have. We've all been in the experience where, you buy a stock and you just get out, like Neo, I bought it at $3. It went to 60. I sold it at 6. So I could have had it like a 20X, right? Like look, we've all been through those experiences, but 10,000 Bitcoin, bro. That's just, but again, if you put yourself in their situation in 2010, right? If you knew nothing about Bitcoin and you just had 10,000 of them, it's like, whatever, I can get some pizza for the night. But man, bro, it's one of those things where if you didn't buy back in, it's like, you got to look at this price I would not want to even look at Bitcoin every day. I would just that 1.2 billion, even if you sold it, at 1/100th of that price, it's still a lot of money, like a lot of money. So yeah, May 22nd is Bitcoin Pizza Day. You might as well invest in time travel. Oh my gosh, dude. I would make it a requirement at my funeral that you have to make fun of me and call me stupid during my goodness, dude. It's tough to deal with that. It is tough. But there is, I think he took it like a champ. He said someone had to start it off. Someone had to sell the Bitcoin. So this is why people don't sell, bro. This is why people diamond handed. Like if you bought it all those years ago, like it's one of those things where it's just like, imagine Saylor's right and it actually does go to 13 million a coin. Like, I mean, no one thought it would get to 100,000, right? When I mean no one, I mean just like metaphorically, right? People did not think it would get here, and now it's here. Is like, who knows? Who knows if it can get to 13 million? This is Saylor a couple of years ago talking about his bull case at 13 million.
What's MicroStrategy worth today? What's the number? 74 billion, whatever the number was, right? Can you look up MicroStrategy market cap? I'm just curious. Okay, $73 billion today. If you're saying 0.1% today, it's going to go to 7%. That's 700x, right? So if it's 90,000 today, if I do 13 million divided by 90,000, you're expecting to 144x MicroStrategy in 21 years. If I do 144 times 73 billion, you're estimating to be a $10.5 trillion company in 21 years. Is that correct? Give or take.
Yeah, I guess with that math, yeah. Bitcoin goes from 90,000 to 13 million. So multiply 13 divided by 90,000, it gets you to a big number.
I mean, this is why the MicroStrategy bulls do not care if they get diluted. They do not care if Saylor takes as much as he can from them, because if you believe it's going up and to the right, and you truly, MicroStrategy is kind of like your retirement, your savings, and there's this group on Twitter called Irresponsibly Long MicroStrategy. There's a lot of people in that group that forget Colt. Colt doesn't even define how entrenched they are in believing in the story of Bitcoin and then the thesis of MicroStrategy behind it. They're convinced and they're not selling this thing. They're not selling this thing. Now, look, I do think Bitcoin has nowhere to go but up, just given the stuff we're seeing in the monetary system and the inflation expectations and the overall deficit spending. Does it go up to 13 million? I don't know. I don't know if that happens. But is it going to go higher? Yeah, probably in 20 years. The question is how high. And if it actually does get to 13 million, MicroStrategy has already outperformed every single stock in the history of stocks. So the only thing that's outperformed MicroStrategy is Bitcoin. Like it's outperformed NVIDIA. It's really just a question of, how much more momentum can they pile into the company by acquiring more Bitcoin at the end of the day. Why did Robinhood not list Farcoin? That's that coin actually at least has some cultural relevancy. Why did they list Moodeng and Cat in a Dog's World? What type of name is Cat in a Dog's World? They only list tickers that have somewhat of a community. So I guess these tickers have a community and that's why they're getting there. By the way, Vlad is speaking at the Bitcoin conference. I don't know when that's happening. I think, it's happening today. Oh no, is it happening tomorrow? It might be happening tomorrow, but we can listen to him whenever he's there. I think it might be happening tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, let's do a poll. Let's see how many agree with that kind of core thesis. All right, so here we go. Bitcoin, 13 million could Bitcoin hit 13 million one day? Bitcoin conference is next week. Okay. He tweeted about it today. That's why I thought it was today, but I guess it's next week in Vegas. All right. Yes or no? Could Bitcoin hit 13 million one day? By the way, there's this great clip going around as well of Tom Lee speaking on Bitcoin. I'll see if I can get it, but this was from 2017. Yeah, here it is. CNBC, I love Becky. But she definitely did not think that Tom Lee would be right about this.
Right now, if you actually think it's undervalued by that extent?
Well, we think the best approach for most people is just to put 1% or 2%.
Are you saying that? I get that if you're somebody who's got a lot of assets, I still think it's crazy. But for a retail investor, somebody who's saving for retirement and putting that aside, that seems crazy to me.
Literally, if a retail investor went all in on Bitcoin at 5,000, I mean, they would have 20x, dude. So it's just like, it's as crazy as it was at the time. You had to have the contrarian in you to go ahead and do it.
Well, it's basically the idea that, you can afford to lose 1% if that's 1% of your portfolio.
That's crazy. You might as well throw it away on high fees to an investor, to an average, like this. You're taking a flyer on that. You don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen.
Well, in a way, that's right, Becky, that for the majority of people, it's, 1% is like a small risk bet. But, Bitcoin makes all of its gains in 10 days in a year. I think this is an example that, if you exclude the 10 best days, Bitcoin loses 25% a year. So you got to essentially hold it or hodl it, as they say, to really capture the gains.
Tom Lee's the GOAT, bro. He is the GOAT. He comes from traditional finance at JP Morgan. But I guess whatever he learned, I think what he learned in traditional finance is to not always pay attention to traditional finance, because he's been the contrarian bull over the past basically 5 years, and it's worked. Like, it's really worked. And a lot of these risk assets that he's been excited about have played out. MicroStrategy is in the Granny Shots fund. So is Robinhood now, and Palantir. So they are levered against Bitcoin, and they do think there's a thesis there. 54% of you say yes, Bitcoin can hit 13 million one day. I would say yes too, just because anything is possible. And given the level of inflation and deficit spending that we are running, I could imagine that yeah, Bitcoin does get significantly higher than it is right now. The other thing that's important is, again, I looked at this. I mean, I showed this chart this morning on Twitter. This is not retail. I'm sure retail's somewhat participating in this rally, but the majority of this is absolutely rooted in the toots. And if you look at the search volumes right here, people are not searching for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is way higher than it was back when it broke out in March 2024. So I think it's the Saudis, the Chinese, somebody, maybe hedge funds as a hedge, buying it against their long treasury positions, that are causing this right now. Okay, Steve just texted me. He said he's going to call in 5 minutes. Steve just said he's going to call in 5 minutes. So for those that have been missing Steve, he hasn't been on the show all week. So for those that have been waiting for the actual reason that you guys come to the channel, he'll be on in 5 minutes. Dude, I'm doing a lecture at 6 o'clock today. I'm talking at this school via Zoom about investing. This dad reached out to me because he watched the show, and his kid started an investing club in their high school. And yeah, they need like guest speakers and stuff. So I'm going to be their first guest speaker. And yeah, I'm going to be talking to them about investing and why it matters. So going to be a very beginner. It's not even like intro to investing or anything. It's more just like why it matters to like care about investing. And I really do wish someone told me when I was in 9th grade to like understand you can own a piece of Apple. You don't just have to buy the iPhone. Because I didn't figure that out until I was at least 19. And I feel like that's late in life now. And like in this generation, you should know that you can own a piece of Apple or a piece of Amazon by the time you're like 10 years old. Like these kids should know about that easily. But my parents didn't know about that stuff. My parents learned about it at 60 years old, that you could own a piece of Apple. So it's like, it's one of those things where I really wish someone told me that. And I don't even know how many kids are going to show up, but if I can get any of those kids to just realize that it's important to think about ownership and equity, then hopefully that'll be a good one. Tell them about your grinder thesis, dude. Goodness gracious. I should bring up Palantir somehow. I should be like, you can find a stock at $6 and obsess about it. And well, I probably will reference Palantir just from an understanding of, hey, you can find, because most kids will understand I buy at 6, sell at 100 or 120 or whatever, 200. Like I buy at 6, it goes to 12. That's good. Buy at 6, goes to 120. That's really good. I think most teenagers can understand that concept. And then it's just a question of, okay, what can you find that's 6 or 5 or 10 or 15 and then sell at a much higher price? And then over the course of 30 years, Apple's the best example, right? You buy this, stays an iconic American brand, keeps compounding, and then you sell here. Like, that's what Brad Gerstner's been trying to do as well with his Invest for America kind of initiative, which it looks like it's getting passed through Congress, which is going to be really good, in my opinion, for the entire world if they can actually get $1,000 every kid's S&P 500 account. Oh, it's in the bill. It's in the bill. Okay, here we go. We got Brad Gerstner right here. He's talking about it. Let's see what he has to say. If that actually made it in the bill, dude, they're gonna get $1,000 to all these kids that are born. Maybe starting in 2026. I think that would be pretty incredible. These high school kids are gonna chase Palantir now, dude. They're all gonna go home and ask their parents to set up an investing account to buy Palantir. That would be hilarious. Can you record it? I will. Yeah, it's on Zoom, so I'll ask them to record it if they can, and they can send me the video. So yeah, we'll try to record it.
I'm happy to report that one of the things that got included in the House version of the reconciliation bill was Invest America, and one of the purposes of taxes on high earners is redistribution, and I think there's a much better way to achieve redistribution, and that's by getting everybody in the game from birth. So it was a huge breakthrough bill that we got Invest America included in the House version of the bill.
Well, congratulations, Brad. I will tell you, I've talked to people that have, pivoted later in life and dedicate themselves to philanthropy. And the number one thing I hear from all of them is how hard things are and how slow things move. And so for you to tilt at this and get it included so quickly in DC time, this is ultra quick, is a huge accomplishment. So
thanks for that. We're not done yet, but I would say this, maybe just a little behind the scenes on it, Bill, because listen, this is all new to me. And I learned a lot. As most people know, I started Invest America, the not-for-profit, about 2.5 years ago. The idea was very simple, that we needed to attack the wealth gap. We needed everybody to feel like they were part of the system. And the way to do that was through the magic of compounding. So it's $1,000. Every child born in America, there are 3.7 million kids born a year, would get $1,000 in a seed investment account in the S&P 500. It would act like a 401k from birth. And then companies and parents and, and others, church groups, whatever, could add to those accounts such that by the age of 18, you could have about 50,000.
That's $3 billion. That's it. $1,000 for 3 million kids. 3 billion is nothing. Like the amount of money we waste in this country. This is like, I don't know how a single person on this planet could disagree with the idea of the government giving $1,000 to every newborn. It's locked away, compounded in the S&P 500. It's literally the government kind of pumping the S&P 500, but for a good reason, by creating this kind of retirement account almost for kids. And it teaches them financial literacy. And then by the time they're 18 and they can access it, I mean, like it is to me, this could be one of the most impactful pieces of legislation ever. And for $3 billion, this is absolutely nothing to the deficit or to the budget that we have in the States.
$1,000 in that account. At age 30, you could have about $150,000 in the account. You couldn't take the money out. You couldn't trade it. It would really just be that 401k from birth. And I will tell you, and you've heard me talk about this on the show, it had such high product market fit, bipartisan. From the left to the right, I thought to myself, maybe this could actually happen. So I was in Washington 2 weeks ago. I was at the White House. I was on Capitol Hill, meeting with the speaker, meeting with Jason Smith, the head of Ways and Means, and my friends Ted Cruz and Mike Crapo and others over in the Senate. I have to say, I was actually surprised that by the time I landed in the Middle East, I heard it had been included. Now, of course, they tinker with it, right? One of the things I learned is you lose ball control. So the name of this was Invest America. In the House version of the bill, they renamed it the MAGA account, which stood for Money Account for Growth and Advancement. But
okay, I didn't know they did that. I did not know they did that. Looks like Gerstner's going to have to give up some of the naming rights to get this passed. There you go.
But as you and I both know, MAGA account in the minds of many is deeply polarizing. So we'll see what happens. I think when it goes to the Senate, it may very well get amended and renamed back to Invest America accounts. I imagine some changes will occur there. They'll agree on ultimately what the rules are around distribution of this. But the great news is this, whatever you call this at the end of the day, if we do this and we launch this in 2026, $1,000 for every kid born in America. We get every kid from rural Texas to rural Indiana to inner city Trenton to the east side of LA. You get them into the game. They can open up their phone and see that they own a little bit of Berkshire Hathaway. They own a little bit of Microsoft, a little bit of Apple. They feel like they have a shot at the American dream. I think it's a game changer for the country. And so the president weighed in here with the Speaker of the House, said he would like to see it in the bill. That's what eventually broke the log jam and got it in there. And so we're working really closely. And
it would be incredible, dude, if they can get this passed. Absolutely incredible. $3 billion. I think if we could cut $3 billion somewhere else, anywhere else, and allocate that $3 billion to this initiative, it would not be the worst idea that we had in this country. I mean, it really does to me feel like an incredible idea. But by the time you're 30, it's 150 grand. Like, dude, like the level of autonomy you would have just by knowing you have that kind of safe account that's waiting for you there, I think that would be incredible. All right, folks. The man you've been waiting for. It's been 4 days. I think this is the longest he's gone without coming on the channel. He was here on the Sunday Futures show. It's been 4 days. He's obviously been pretty busy in the corporate world and been ignoring us, but he made a little bit of time to talk to us today. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 days later, he's already smiling in the background. Mr. Stephen Fiorillo.
Why can't you just introduce me like a normal person?
Because then it's not fun. You're not a normal person, Steve.
I'm very normal.
You have a dairy dealer. That's not normal.
I have a guy that I text my order to and brings it to the farmer's market.
You have a dairy dealer.
That's not really a dairy dealer. It's not proprietary. Anybody can go get one.
You have a milk guy.
Okay, yeah, but it's because I was buying milk from him for a while, and I said, just give me your number so I can text you my order.
Oh, I'm just saying. The fact that you have his number, you have a Pokemon guy, you have a milk guy.
I mean, do you have restaurants saved in your phone in your contacts list?
I don't have a single. I'm my barber.
Are you serious?
No. What restaurant? Why would I have a restaurant? Like,
I don't know. So you don't have to look for their number. I must have like 15 restaurants on my phone.
Put in the chat if you have a restaurant personal number, or you know a guy.
That's like weird. That's weird.
No, I don't have it.
So if you get Chinese food all the time, you're going to Google and instead of just going to your contact list and hitting dial.
Dude, I have never in my life thought I need to save the Chinese. I was like, Chinese food near me. Oh, first result, Google.
Oh my God.
Who the heck saves the?
It's efficiency.
It is more efficient, but it's just weird. I've never done that.
Now, if you had it on speed dial, I would think there's a problem.
Does anyone use speed dial anymore? That's like a thing of the past, I feel like.
Yes.
Used to like press the button and then. Anyway, Steve, it's been 4 days. Where you been? What have you been doing?
I've been so busy. It's insane. I've been working till like 10, 11 at night every night.
Why? Why are you so busy?
Dude, my job is busy, man. Really busy.
Yeah, but like, are you like,
and it doesn't help that yesterday I had a shareholder meeting and
yeah, you texted me you're at what do you like for that for the house, for the apartment complex?
Yeah, I'm the president of the board.
Oh, the HOA. Okay.
That's why I sent you a picture of that stock certificate. If you want to, you can get my autograph on stock certificate if you move in a minute.
I would love to get your autograph regardless. Just because I need to have your autograph. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about markets. I got to go at 6, so we will probably end before 6.
I know nothing about what's going on.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you, and then I'll get your raw reaction. So here's the first one. You ready?
Sure.
Do you know who bought Amazon today?
No.
You don't? Okay, this will be fun.
Dude, I just told you I don't know about anything that's happened.
Okay, well, guess. What person bought Amazon today?
Brad Gerstner, because you just showed him.
Nope. Billy Ackman.
Great.
Buys Amazon.
Great. Amazon's going to zero. Great.
Why do you not like Bill Ackman?
Everything he touches goes down.
Okay, that's not exactly true.
That's not exactly true. I'm just trying to make a joke. I don't know. I mean, it's better than him not buying it, I guess.
Google and Amazon, those are his Max 7s.
So he's back in Alphabet.
No, he's been in Alphabet forever.
Didn't he sell Alphabet?
He sold like a couple million shares, but he has a lot. So, I mean, he's been trimming, but he sold Netflix for Google a long time ago.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, he's smart. Amazon's going to, I don't think people realize what's going to happen with Amazon and Alphabet and Meta and Microsoft. I think they're going to do so well over the next 5 to 10 years. I don't think you miss on any of them.
Okay, so then you probably don't know anything that happened at Google I/O, but regardless, it doesn't matter because the stock's at 170.
All I know is that they did something with Translate that was like revolutionary.
Okay, no, that was the least important thing. They're doing glasses, and then they basically just said search is going to get really good for people.
Dude, I almost bought a pair of glasses the other day.
Like tech glasses?
Not from Alphabet, from Asus. I don't know. One of these guys I follow on freaking Instagram, one of these tech guys was playing with them, and I thought they looked cool.
Dude, why do you spend so much time on Instagram? Can we talk about that?
Because when I get 5 minutes just to like zone out and not think about all the million things I'm doing, it's a lot quicker than watching a TV show.
I feel like Instagram's your safe space.
It allows me just to think about nothing. How about that?
Well, yeah, because the reels you send me about alien conspiracies, it's like
I don't know why those pop in, but I find them fascinating because these people that actually believe this stuff, like,
no,
sorry,
no,
I'm not
no,
buying
no,
this whole
don't say these people who you are definitely part of this. These people you talk about. Otherwise, the
I do
algorithm-
not believe remote viewing is real.
I think you believe in aliens 1000%.
Now, you want to have a discussion about flat Earth? I'll have a discussion about that.
You think the Earth's flat?
No.
Oh. I was gonna say that would be. I would not take you for a flat earther. I don't know.
No, but I did try. So this is funny. I did try convincing my dad, who's a rocket scientist, like a legit rocket scientist, freaking that the Earth is flat, and he just went off. And he didn't realize I was like pulling his chain.
You should have said the moon landing was fake.
No, that I had an issue with.
Oh, you actually think the moon landing was fake?
I wouldn't put it past that it is not real or that it is real. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that it was fake. There are things that don't make sense with it. But I have no idea if it is or it isn't. I wouldn't be surprised.
But gun to your head, you think it's fake?
I don't know. There's things that make me think something's suspicious. That's all.
Okay, I put it in the chat. We'll see what they say about the moon landing. Okay, so here's the next headline. We talked about Billy.
Like, if there's no gravity, how are people jumping on the moon?
I'm gonna act like you didn't say that, and I'm gonna move on.
No, I'm serious.
I think the moon. I think we landed on the moon. I don't think we.
I'm not saying we didn't. I'm just
Okay,
saying
so then it wasn't fake then.
I'm just saying there were things that, I don't know, they seem a little suspect. That's all.
Okay, well, what seemed suspect to me was that Apple, Bloomberg reported, they're getting back to smart glasses.
They were never left. They were just freaking not doing the big headsets anymore. They always said that they were going to try to condense it.
2026, they want to have prototypes by the end of this year. I mean,
it's the future. It's just the future is not those ski goggles they have.
Do you think Apple can actually pull this off? Is my question.
They need to do something with their lives. I mean, look, I do believe the next form of computing is breaking free of screens. I've always thought that ever since I got the original Oculus. Okay. I can completely see a world where we have regular sunglasses and you are able to do so much with them. I just think that it's silly to think we're going to be bound to screens. Now, who becomes the winner in that's a completely different story. And I don't know if Apple can become the winner. I really think that Alphabet may be so far ahead and Meta may be so far ahead. The only good thing about Apple is they have so much data and they already have a platform with the iPhone and everything's already integrated, that maybe they can really do something, but they gotta move fast.
Okay, we'll get back to glasses, but everyone in the chat is freaking out about your no gravity on the moon take. So I asked Grok. It says, yeah, there's gravity on the moon. It's just 1/6 of the Earth's gravity.
Okay, so if it's 1/6, if it's 1/6, they shouldn't be jumping around the way they were.
Oh my gosh. I think
Play the clip. It looks like they're going up for a jump shot.
Hold on. I haven't seen this in a while. Hold on. Jumping on the moon. Do you actually believe they faked this thing?
No, I don't believe they faked it.
You think they're jumping on the moon?
I'm just saying that that looks like a normal freaking jump.
No, it does not look like a normal. What are you
does.
talking about? That looks like a regular, like a less heightened version of a normal jump. He's not even jump. I mean, it's like barely getting.
That does not look like a sixth of the speed by any means. That looks like a normal jump.
They're also in heavy gear. That's another thing. I don't know, Steve. I mean, you have some people that agree with you in the chat.
Heavy jump. But man, you can go put 100 pounds. Think about Army, okay? With their rucks and everything, they can jump with their rucks on. The rucks are 60 pounds and all the gear.
So you're saying the video was manipulated? Like, what's your take here?
I don't know. I just think it seems some of the aspects of it seem suspect. That's all.
But suspect meaning like Russia's involved and like
no, that's not what I said. I'm just saying some of it seems suspect. So
all right, so that's the
I'm just saying that is something that could have been made in a studio. That's all.
I don't think I don't think they had that type of technology where.
But I don't know if they had the technology to actually do what they said they did in the 60s.
Well, then you're saying the moon landing was fake, straight up.
Saying.
But then you're saying it's not fake, so you got your little wishy-washy here.
It's a little suspect.
Anyway, Apple. Do you think they can realistically beat Meta at this point?
It's hard.
I agree.
Maybe.
I think it's
maybe on Meta, no on Alphabet.
Wait, you think they can't beat Google?
I don't think so.
Wait, you don't think Apple can beat Google for glasses?
No.
I think that's actually easier because Google.
No, because they don't have Meta doesn't have the operating system with the calling and everything else that Android and iOS has. So when I think about a whole comprehensive ecosystem, Meta's got all the cool bells and whistles, but they don't have streamlined communications, meeting capability, all that stuff. So Meta, I think it's going to be easier to beat Meta, but it also depends on what the application is.
But I also Google doesn't have the types of apps Meta has on Horizon, right? So
no, but they have the entire Android ecosystem. So if you bring the Android ecosystem into a VR, AR environment, I think that would be something that could be built upon. Whereas Meta, I don't think it's going to become a professional thing. I think it'll always be an entertainment aspect with their glasses. So you may have two different use cases for it, and Meta may be on one side of the spectrum. Why are you laughing?
I saw a comment.
Why? I don't have the comments on. So.
I'm not going to say the comment, but I saw a comment.
Why?
It's just someone in all caps who was like, please don't ask Steve about Palantir. I don't want to hear him about. Okay, so Scarlett is a sweetheart. Let me give you some background. Scarlett is an older lady who I met at a New York City meetup.
Oh, I think you told me this.
She knitted me the freaking the Palantir hat. I don't know how many shares she has of this thing, but she has them at like $10. And she doesn't want to hear any bear case on Palantir. This is her life. She's like, you know what? That's my retirement. I don't care about whatever you bears have to say. And every time come on the show,
I'm not a bear.
Every time you come on the show, she has to hear you give a bear case.
I'm not a bear, though.
But you have to, it's expensive. It's
and
trash.
For the record, I do have a significant amount of shares that are not capped by cover calls.
Wait, you do?
Yes.
Wait, yeah, this is news. You have shares that are free of covered calls?
Yes. In my joint account. In my joint account with my wife.
Okay, so your wife has those shares. You don't have shit.
No,
you don't have shit. That's your wife.
No. My wife has her own accounts. I have my own accounts, and we have joint accounts.
I feel like your wife bought those shares.
No, nothing in the joint account.
That was your wife being smart at $10. And
No, my wife's a better investor than me. You'll always hear me say that.
Anyway, okay, so to wrap up the Apple thing, I think they need something because this stock is in free fall. Not in terms of the stock price, but the narrative. And we need some new product to get the market.
Did you read my article?
That was last week, I think we looked at it, right?
I went through.
No. That was this week. You're right. Let me pull it in.
I went through a lot of stuff about Apple, about why I'm still bullish on them. Like, I wanted to downgrade them to neutral so bad.
Hold on. You rated them strong buy.
After I really went through everything, I'm still very bullish. Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
There's no way you gave them a strong
Yes.
buy. Okay, so what's the 30-second pitch for buying Apple here? Like, the services revenue? This is why they're a strong buy?
It's not just that, but look, services is not stopping anytime soon. They still have a 3 billion install base. They're generating a lot of profitability, and they are taking, look, they're very late to the game, but they're taking generative AI very seriously right now. And
Steve, the biggest feature out of their generative AI is Gen AI emojis. How can you possibly say they are taking it seriously right now?
They're taking it seriously right now. We got to see what happens, but I think they're going to figure it out. I think they realize they made a mistake and they have to double time it now. And the return of capital is incredible.
A strong buy feels a little aggressive, though. Maybe a buy, but
They've returned $1 trillion in the past 13 years to shareholders. Think about that. $1 trillion.
I just but they should have invested that money into something besides their stock.
I would have been fine. Look, I would be fine right now if they said, you know what, we're going to do 80 billion in buybacks this year. We're going to chop it in half and only do 40 billion, and the other 40 billion is going straight to CapEx, and we're going gangbusters on things. I would be very okay with that.
So, did you hear the news about OpenAI this week that's affecting Apple?
I did hear the news that they bought somebody's startup for like $6 billion. Somebody that used to work at Apple.
So let me. It's a 30-second clip. Let me play it real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Working on, I think, has just completely captured our imagination.
You know, Johnny called one day and said, "This is the best work our team has ever done." Yeah. I mean, Johnny did the iPhone. Johnny did the MacBook Pro. I mean, these are like the defining ways people use technology. It's hard to beat those things. Those are really wonderful. Johnny recently gave me one of the prototypes of the device for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it. And I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen.
Johnny freaking Ive.
All right, so what did they build?
I don't know what they built, but how is this bullish for Apple?
Who knows?
The guy who made the iPhone is teaming up with the guy who's making the best LLM on the planet.
I would hold your horses on that one.
On what? Which one?
Best LLM on the planet.
Which one's better?
I happen to think Grok is better.
Yeah, but you and I are in a bubble that actually use Twitter. No one uses Twitter.
No, I don't use it on Twitter. I use it standalone.
It does, but you introduced to it because of Twitter.
Okay, but
no one in the real world knows what Grok is.
I've used that, Gemini, and ChatGPT quite a bit. And when I do deep search mode, like the advanced deep search, it's incredible what comes back.
But it doesn't matter because no one knows about it. That's my point. Elon doesn't have the distribution that ChatGPT has. It's just.
But from a product standpoint of what's better, I personally think it's better.
But my point is, I don't know how you have a strong buy on Apple when the guy who made their best products left the company in the age of AI and is teaming up with someone who's seen as kind of not a good person, Sam Altman. He doesn't have the best reputation. The fact that he left Tim Cook for Altman.
And the real question is, do you think that Microsoft is going to start getting in the actual product game?
So I'm confused about Microsoft. I don't. If they own 50% of OpenAI, right? Mm-hmm. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
That means they have $150 billion stake in OpenAI, right?
Right.
So why should they worry? I mean, if OpenAI goes to a couple trillion, like they're gonna just print money off their equity.
Yeah, Microsoft will be fine.
But the street's not giving them a premium because of that OpenAI valuation at all.
Well, is ridiculous. It's the same idea as Alphabet owning Waymo or Tesla owning whatever. I mean,
I agree with you. I feel like Microsoft should be higher because if OpenAI has all this momentum, you know, there should be some correlation. But your question about are they getting into products? I don't think so. I don't think Microsoft cares about building wearable products, or they have the culture to.
yeah, we'll see.
But I think Johnny Ive in design and his, you know, this dude came up with the design of the iPhone with Steve Jobs, bro. Like, this is the guy Sam Altman just got. I feel like that makes Apple a little risky right here. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know if Apple's risky. Is it going to grow the way others are going to grow? No, probably not. I mean, Amazon's got more growth. If you put a gun in my head, I'm buying Amazon over Apple right now.
Yeah.
But look, I'm very bullish on big tech over the next 5 years. The real question is, do you think Apple's going to be lower in 5 years than it is right now? For me, the answer is no.
I can't definitively say yes. I really can't.
They have a lot of things going for it because, once again, how many Apple products do you have? And are you willing to leave the Apple ecosystem? No matter, and with all the information that you know about what Alphabet is doing versus what Apple is doing, are you willing to go to Android?
No, but I don't know.
There you go. You just said no.
The stock's already priced for that, Steve.
I'm not saying it's not, but they do have EPS growth. They're going to get back to revenue growth. And if they come out with some new stuff and shock the market, it has a lot of opportunity to go up more than what we expect because nobody expects anything. But I do not think it's going to be lower than it is today.
Yeah, but if it's, you know, $225 in 5 years, I mean, I don't know. I think the buybacks alone will help them, but I can't invest in them, Lou. I don't see
I'm not telling you to.
Well, here's a company I wish we got in the private rounds. OnlyFans is in talks to sell itself at an $8 billion valuation.
Wait, what?
OnlyFans, $8 billion potential buyout.
It is ridiculous that this is where we are with society.
I wish I had a chance to invest in this somehow. Like, it's such an incredible business model because of the market they tapped into, the amount of people that are willing to pay subscriptions, the whole messaging thing that they have and the tips. Like, there's so much momentum on just that platform alone.
I mean, they basically took Twitch's entire model and tweaked it.
Yeah. And then instead of
That's
live,
basically what they did.
Now, the question is who would buy it because they had some credit card processing issues. Like Visa didn't want to work with them a couple years ago. Like, who buys OnlyFans? Because any company that does that is going to deal with
that. Could be the most degen play ever.
I think. Okay, so what? I have a stock in mind. What stock do you think, or what company do you think would buy OnlyFans? Put in the chat. What company? I have a public company in mind that would be so symbiotic with this acquisition that it's like it's obvious.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
No one said it yet. You know that you own the stock.
It's probably Tesla.
What? What?
I can see Elon buying that to troll everybody.
I think Elon's got enough issues than having to deal with buying.
Oh, yeah. What's one more issue for Elon? He seems to love him.
Dude, how has no one guessed it yet? This is the most obvious stock. No one has guessed it yet.
Oh, you said that I own it. So, I mean.
You own it. This is how has no one guessed it yet, bro? No, it's not GameStop. It's not Reddit. It's not Grindr. It's not Amazon. It's not Hims. It's not Meta. This is so easy.
All right, so what is it?
This is so how is no one getting this? It's not Palantir. It's not.
Do I need to go through my portfolio and start like guessing?
Yeah, I until you guess. Okay, someone got it. Someone got it.
All right, so what is it?
But it was literally only one person who got it. Why are you guys saying Netflix, DraftKings, when Hood, when
Alphabet?
Someone said Disney.
Oh, seriously, who's gonna buy it?
This is so obvious. Ready?
Yes.
Snapchat.
I don't think they could afford it.
That's not my question. They could dilute shareholders.
I think that's why I didn't come up with that because there's no way they could afford that.
The amount of people that use that product for the same kind of thing, you know, like they have Snapchat communities and stuff. Like, that's so obvious. Snapchat. I would actually like. I think the stock will get a boost. It's at $8. It's been at $8 for like a year. OnlyFans is a better business than Snapchat's business. That's for sure.
All I know is I'm getting ready for SoFi Weekly tomorrow night to destroy their hopes and dreams.
Okay, hold on. Why are you? What do you have an agenda against SoFi? So like, you've turned
No,
into
but you know
full
what?
on.
In our private conversation with Mr. Patel, he said something very interesting. I don't even know if it was private. It could have been on the Future Show. And I started really looking at operating margins. And I don't know how you're a tech company when you have a lower operating margin than legacy banks.
Dude, they're gonna be so pissed off.
I'm
at you,
just
bro.
saying, how is that a
Like,
tech company?
they're gonna be so annoyed that you. Hold on. Robinhood just announced something. What is this? If you sign up to Robinhood Gold for the next week, you can get a slice of $1 million.
Look at them with that marketing.
See, SoFi can't do this shit, bro. SoFi can't do this shit. This is the issue. Okay, but on SoFi, they announced yesterday they were like ranked the number 41st brand or something. Noto tweeted about. Do you not think that matters at all?
Ask me if I care.
Like they were on the Harris poll. There's something called the Harris poll, and SoFi, it measures your ethics and your trust and all this stuff. SoFi was number 41 ahead of Pepsi.
Okay.
Do you think that matters?
And Capital One's ahead of them. So, I mean, what are we talking about?
Well, this was the big news going around yesterday about SoFi. So
I just want somebody to explain how they're not a freaking bank. That's all.
Yo, Robinhood is never going to be on that list because everyone still hates them about GameStop. So they're never going to have like a good brand, I guess, on that list. Maybe one day, but yeah. Look, I mean, I think for you, you either got to get out of the stock or, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I have my call options, and I probably won't roll them if it gets near it. But it's not looking like they're going to get triggered. So let's keep writing options until it gets called away.
Aaron says gold subscribers down or they wouldn't need this promo. Dude, they do this every quarter. So to me, it's not about gold subscribers being down. They might be, but every quarter they give away a couple $1 million to get gold subs. Like in March, they had a whole month for gold subscribers. So I don't think that has anything to do
I'm
with
just waiting for next week, and that next Wednesday is the day.
what. Oh,
Jensen takes the stage.
okay. So let's do our first of many pump or dump polls on NVIDIA. What do you think, Steve?
Oh, it better pump.
I don't think it needs to pump actually because it's already pumped.
No, it has not already pumped. It's been flat.
No, it's gone from 100 to 130 in a month. What are you talking about? It's 30%.
That's not a pump. Look where it was.
30% is 30%.
Not if you're already there.
Google buying OnlyFans does make sense, but Google would never want to deal with the PR of buying OnlyFans. I don't think they would do that. But I think it'll pump too, but I don't think it has to.
You realize NVIDIA is still down on the year, right?
No, I agree 100%. I mean, like, yeah, but hold on. How much is it down year to date? It's like 7% or something.
1.5%.
It's barely, bro. Like we're back to
1.5%. 1.5%.
I just think if they talk about all this UAE Stargate stuff and
we haven't had a real liftoff in the past 2 earnings calls, and they've smashed earnings. I really think that NVIDIA is in a great position. I don't think anybody can touch them. And I think that this stock is going to get so much bigger.
I agree. I don't know if it happens this quarter, though.
It may not.
It's going to be a big one, bro. Next Wednesday, that's going to be a big one. May 20th.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. I think it's one of the greatest companies ever.
NVIDIA should buy OnlyFans. GPU. Oh my gosh, dude. I really think Snapchat buying them would make so much sense, dude. So much sense. No other and Snapchat could deal with the PR problem of it. But even Meta buying them makes sense, but Meta can't deal with the PR part. Neither can Google or NVIDIA or any of these other names. Okay, so we got like 15 minutes left with Steve. Any questions in the chat for Steve? He's not going to make the show tomorrow, even though it's a Friday, because I'm going to Boston tomorrow, Steve. So I'm leaving.
Are you going to go to Cheers?
Cheers? What's that?
You did not just ask what Cheers is, did you?
What's Cheers?
Where everybody knows your name?
What? What are you talking about? What does this mean? Where everyone knows your name? What are you talking about?
Is your chat going wild right now with where everybody knows your name?
Yeah, they all repeating you. What do you?
Norm,
No, I don't know this.
Cliff, Sam,
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Frazier.
Who's Frazier? I don't know.
Frazier Crane.
Oh, there's a show called Cheers.
There's a show called Cheers. Ted Danson, a freaking legend.
American sitcom.
Retired pitcher from the Red Sox.
Who's George Wendt? Dude, who the hell are these people? Who's John Ratzenberger? Who's Shelley Long?
Oh my God. You're hurting my brain.
Oh, was this in Boston? Is that why you asked me?
Yeah, there's a Cheers bar.
Oh, maybe I'll visit it.
You should have your meetup at Cheers.
Well, I didn't know about Cheers, so I didn't pick Cheers as the meetup.
Well, you can change it, and everybody will know your name at Cheers.
Anyway, this is from 1982. You got to give me a break, bro. This is like, how would I know this?
Yeah, it was on for like 11 seasons.
I still wasn't born.
The amount of clips that fly around the internet about this show is incredible.
I haven't seen it. But we got 15 minutes left. If any questions for Steve, put it in the chat, and
you see
we'll get it taken.
Snowflake this week?
Yeah, Snowflake crushed it. It's a good quarter. It's a good. Do you own this thing at all or no?
No.
Oh wow, it hit 200 today. There you go. 203.
What a great chart.
Okay, first question for you, Steve. Did you buy any dips this week?
I bought NVIDIA.
At what, 135? 134?
131.
Okay, cool. It's not bad. Steve is 42, I think, for those that are asking.
I hope I'm not 60.
Yeah, Steve is not 60. When are you going to write it? Well, this is my trigger, Steve, but I don't think he's ever going to write an article about this.
Never.
Stuff. Yeah. By the way, an AMD insider bought $1 million worth of stock. Chief Commercial Officer Philip Guide bought 1 million in stock today. So bullish AMD. Oh, you know today's Bitcoin Pizza Day?
I saw something about that.
A guy sold.
I'm aware. I also got told last night that I'm the stupidest person in the world because I told one of my buddies to buy Bitcoin at 7, and neither of us bought back in like 2012.
At $7?
Yeah, I told you this story, right? It was like 2011 or 2012. Bitcoin was selling for $7.
How'd you find out about Bitcoin?
Because I was in the e-commerce division at Bed Bath, and our tech department obviously was a bunch of geeks, and I'm like the head geek. So, we would talk about computers and all that stuff, and I helped them wire the back room for what we needed, and they told me about this thing, Bitcoin, and we were talking about mining it, but then the whole Mt. Gox thing happened. Anyway, I was trying to figure out how to buy it. It was like the Wild West. Back then, there was no Coinbase. There was none of that stuff. You had to actually, it was so involved. I got frustrated and just didn't do it.
Should have bought it.
No shit.
Should have bought it. Someone asks right here, did you buy the Hims dip yet?
No.
Dude, you're like me. We kind of want to, but we haven't done it yet. It's down almost to 50. I mean, like, if you're gonna pull the trigger.
I'm worried that the rug's gonna get pulled out from it.
What rug? That means you're not convinced that it's a good company yet.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I can see it going back to 30.
Oh, but hold on. You said you looked at the numbers and you think it's cheap.
For the growth that it has, the balance sheet that it has, and the future products it has, it is something I would like to invest in. I just don't know if the current valuation is going to hold. And when you have a downturn the way this is starting, this could flatline or this could keep going down to 30 or 35 very quickly.
But there's no
reverses.
We're not seeing a market downturn yet. You're just thinking like general volatility.
Look at that chart. Bring that chart back up.
I mean, yeah, it's heavy momentum, so it could definitely happen.
Hang on a sec.
All right. You want me to mute you? Okay, I'll mute you. I could see Hims getting hit back into that 45 range. I don't know if it goes back to 40 or below 40. That I think there would be too many dip buyers there. especially now that the stock has gotten a lot more excitement and momentum. But yeah, it was down about 7% today. He's definitely on the phone with his dairy dealer right now. He's asking if they have the chocolate milk in stock. Do they have the chocolate milk?
No, it was my wife.
Oh, never mind. Okay. What was I gonna say? What were we even talking about? Oh yeah, him. You're just afraid that the momentum is too strong.
I mean, I know you went on the Hims podcast.
Yeah.
Did they convince you to buy it?
No, they convinced me to buy it, but I told them at 65, no. And
They convinced me that it's worth really considering.
Not at
and I think it's a good company, and I'm excited about their future products. I just don't think it's. When I look at the chart, I want to see what another week or two does.
Yeah, I agree. That's fair. That's very fair. I also, again, I'm not emotionally attached. A lot of people like have some emotional like fandom with it. I have that with Palantir, but and Hood, but not really the Hims. If I was buying Hims, I would be expecting like a big move, and I feel like the big move happened, and now I would have to become a actual investor and believe in the thesis. And I don't know if I care enough about wanting to.
Yeah, I'm seeing people say Hims to 1,000. It's like, all right, really?
There are some people in the community.
Like, are we really thinking that this is going there? I don't know.
1,000 sheep, dude. I heard someone say it's going to be 5,000 by 2030.
I mean, is this going to be bigger than Pfizer or Bristol Myers or Amgen or any of those companies? That's where I'm looking at this from. I don't know.
Did you have any take on Target's earnings?
I didn't even see them. Were they bad?
Yeah, they're pretty bad. But stock fell from 105 to 95. So I mean, it's not, crazy. But it wasn't the bad. The CEO basically said, he admitted like we messed up. He was like, look, not the best quarter. We're dealing with some tariff stuff. And hopefully we can.
Yeah, it's still, it's still around where I bought it.
Yeah. We did see the market. It didn't really tank, but it gave up its gains. It didn't necessarily go negative, 1% or anything. But yeah, I don't know what happened at the close. I don't think there was a headline. I think it was honestly algos today. I really didn't find any piece of news that would have caused markets to actually go down. And most stocks are green right here after hours right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's a lot of opportunities for long-term investors. And I think a lot of that opportunity is in big tech. You can't convince me Amazon is not a better buy than Walmart or something like that. Broadcom's another one we need to really look more into.
Broadcom?
Yeah, I really like Broadcom.
Okay. Did you care at all about the 20-year bond auction that we had yesterday?
No.
Why?
No, because everybody who's spending all this time analyzing the 20-year bond auction needs to stop. The 20-year bond auction has nothing to do with what Apple, Amazon, or Nvidia is going to do. It has nothing to do with it. It does not matter.
No, you're right, but it explained why the market was down yesterday. At least a little
Yeah, and
bit.
I saw somebody respond to you that it was a nothing burger.
Oh, the guy who's talking about the guy who
That there
works.
was actually more. I don't remember what the tweet was.
Yeah, he basically said there was demand, but his tweet was kind of confusing because he was like, there was plenty of demand, but there were sellers at a higher coupon rate that wanted to get out of the 20-year. And so my interpretation of that is like, okay, there was demand, but there were people that were selling into that demand, which is what caused the yields to rise, even though it wasn't like no demand, but it still wasn't good. Like it might not have been the best, but it definitely wasn't good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Once
it doesn't
again,
matter for stocks. Like
if you're looking for yield, you have to pay attention.
Yes.
If you are looking for equities, it does not matter one bit.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't say it like that because it's going to matter on on if you issue debt, what your interest expenses are going to be. But for the majority of what you're investing in, it's not going to matter. No, we always talk about big tech. Does it matter for Palantir? No. If the 20-year bond is at 4 or 5% at the end of the day, does not matter. Their organic growth is going to continue to increase. It's not going to impact their net dollar retention.
Also, if yields are higher, people will want to invest in other things like stocks, crypto. Like people want to also shift if they don't want to touch the bond market.
Yeah,
And
to me, it's just, I go back to there's too much information out there. It moves at the speed of light. People get fixated on every little thing and try to correlate things when they don't need to be correlated. Sometimes investing is simple and it doesn't need to be complex. Look for companies that are growing revenue and growing earnings.
Oklo's moving up 7% after hours. The headline is Trump to sign orders to boost nuclear power as soon as Friday. There you go.
Good.
SMR is up 5%. There you go.
We need more energy.
We need more energy.
I mean, energy transfer is going to do well. I can tell you that much.
Did anyone buy Oklo today? Because if you did, good timing. But there you go.
Dude, my phone continues to blow up.
Yeah, who's all these people texting you? Is the people in the HOA? Or something?
No, it's all work stuff.
Why are you so busy, bro?
Dude, slammed.
Like, oh, did you hear the House passed the bill for taxes?
Yeah, I saw it, but I don't even know what's really in it. So
there's a lot of things in it. Salt deductions.
All right, so talk to me about salt. What are they doing with salt? Because
they're increasing it to 40,000, and that's
from what?
From 30,000.
No, it's not 30, is it?
Yeah, it was 30. This and a lot of the Medicaid stuff is what people are getting upset about. So it's 40,000 starting in 2025, up from 30,000 in the previous version. There's currently only a $10,000 limit. And then the child care tax credits in there. The obviously the corporate income tax for companies is there. I mean, there's a lot.
Go back to that, because the $10,000 limit, wasn't that the standard deduction?
Yeah.
All right. So $10,000 limit. Wait, go back up, or stay right here.
That's what I'm saying. It's rising, which means they're going to get less revenue from this, which is part of the reason the deficit.
Yeah. Okay. So this is good for New York. This is great for New York because
it's great for everyone except our deficit.
Listen, this is great for New York because there's a $10,000 limit in New York.
Dude,
this is great.
Tax cuts are phenomenal for individuals, but for our deficit, it's, unless we outgrow it, that's the.
Yeah, you got to have freaking more growth. And for more growth, you need the Fed to start cutting rates.
Can I show you a picture? This picture I saw, it kind of felt like the Matrix to me. Once you see it, you can't go back. Look at this thing, bro. This is our deficit, our revenue, and our debt. It's like an iceberg from every administration since 1980.
Okay.
Does anyone reasonably think over the next 50 years this is going to get better?
I don't know if it matters anymore.
No,
but in all seriousness, like, does it matter?
It gets to a point where you're like, you know what? Who cares anymore?
It gets to the point where it's all funny money, and while we're laughing about it, we have the biggest military in the world. So I don't know. I would love to see a balanced budget. I would love to see us get back on track to lower the deficit and lower the debt, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is why Bitcoin's going up. That's it's getting to the point where no one cares anymore. And people are saying we're going to something that can't be printed away, which is Bitcoin.
Could be.
All right, Steve, I got to get out of here. I'm giving a lecture to a bunch of kids in high school about investing.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm doing it through Zoom.
When?
In 15 minutes. There's a dad who watches my show, and his kid started in a club in his school, and I'm a guest speaker.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to tell them you recommended a strong buy on Apple. And
you should tell them to freaking invest in the S&P 500 is what you should do.
No, I'm going to tell them to find anything besides the S&P 500. And no, I'm just kidding.
Why would you do that?
Well, in general, I do think investing in individual stocks over the S&P 500 at their age, they're going to be 20 years old in a couple of years. That's a way better strategy than the S&P. No, like why would a 20-year-old invest in the S&P 500? Why would they not invest in Amazon? Like please tell me why Amazon will be a worse investment if you're 20 years old.
The S&P is a much safer investment.
Yeah, but when you're 20, you're not going for safe at all.
I get that. Good habits start young. Don't have to put everything in, but investing in the S&P gives you, no matter what happens with the market, the largest companies every day of every year, no matter what changes.
Yeah, but here's a problem with what you're saying. I think this is an original take that no one actually thought of. If you just auto DCA into the S&P 500, that is good compounding, and that's more safer. But the problem is you don't get obsessed with the markets. And I'm obsessed with the markets. What I want to get to these kids is, hey, you guys need to eat, sleep, and breathe markets, news, trends. What you need to know who Jerome Powell is.
What we get everybody obsessed with the markets?
What?
Starting them off with capital and S&P at birth.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. But my point is, if you actually invest in Amazon and you look at their balance sheet, you start caring about it.
Look, investing in Amazon would be great.
Yeah, obviously they should invest in the S&P 500, that's sure. But like when you're that young, if you can pick an individual stock that's like a household name and actually learn what Amazon's operating margins are at 18 years old.
They should learn how to read financials.
Yeah.
Is the very first thing, because that will help them so much in life. Learn how to read and actually understand a company's set of financials.
Someone said, admit that's a passion not everyone can have. I agree. And I don't even know how many kids are going to be there, but if even one of them catches the bug today, I really do think it could be something that, affects them in the future.
How many kids is it?
I don't know. It might be 5 kids. I have no idea. I said yes. And so, but I'm curious. I'm curious. They're in an investing club. They obviously care. I wonder if any of them know what the S&P 500 is, right? If they're in an investing club. So I agree. They should be safe, but at that age, you got to because think about all of us. The reason so many of us have outperformed the S&P 500, like last year, like many people in this chat had triple-digit returns.
So I'll tell you, how about this?
Hold on, let me finish. The reason most of us in this community outperform is because we get obsessed about markets. Because if you're not obsessed about markets, it's really hard to pick the stocks that actually create a bucket of returns by the end of the year that's better than 10%.
So let's do this. Tell me how many kids are in the thing that you're going to present to. Maybe we'll do something for them.
Okay. We have paper trading accounts?
Not paper trading.
Well, what would we do?
I don't know. Maybe we'll gift them something.
Okay. I'll let you know. I'll talk to the kid today and see.
Yeah, just text me a number. Let me see. And maybe we'll gift them something to maybe get them excited about something. Problem is, how do we actually do that? Because we can't technically buy them shares of something and send it to them. I don't know the legality around that.
I think the best thing we could do is get them started on a paper trading account and just learn what it feels like to buy a stock of Amazon.
I'd rather gift them shares of like SPYG or something.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to actually send them any shares, but I really do think if I got obsessed with business when I was 18, but it was a lot of these random business ideas. If I had just gotten obsessed with Shopify stock versus starting my own e-commerce business, my life would have been so different. Most people are going to fail if they start an e-commerce business.
Please do. Yeah, I just clicked on the chat right now. Please do not talk about options.
No, we're not talking about options. Guys, the derivatives market is actually very interesting. No. I genuinely want to see if any of them actually care about the fact that ownership, like it's going to be a philosophical talk. It's going to be about what it means to increase your own personal self-development if you can increase your economic mobility. And you can't do that through an income. You can get by with an income, but you need assets to actually move on in life. And that's going to be the point of the talk. Kyle, thank you for the $20 super chat. Buy them a partial stock on me. I appreciate that, Kyle. Thank you for being here. I don't know if I can give them any money or anything like that, but
yeah, I mean, we can figure it out. If it's like 5 or 10 people, I think you and I can figure out a way to do something.
Yeah, I'll talk to the.
If it's 100 people, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but 5 or 10 people, we can figure something out.
I feel like it's going to be I don't think there's going to 100 people in it. An investing club, I don't think would have 100 kids.
I don't know, maybe.
Those 100 kids would have to be pretty damn ambitious in 9th grade to go to dude, I would not have joined an investing club. I was like,
dude, you wouldn't have joined anything in 9th grade.
No, I was in debate.
You were busy swinging on a swing set.
No, I did basketball. I tried my LeBron James arc of my life. It didn't work out. And then I went back to debate. That worked out. But I never joined any like nerdy club besides debate. I think my school had a chess club, but I didn't do that. But I wouldn't have done investing, dude. I would have been so bored. I'm like, what's the point? But again, if I had someone who inspired me to think about again, it's unbelievably fulfilling to know that my shares in Palantir are the result of my ability to effectively analyze this
did
company.
You see Anthropic launching a next generation of Claude?
I did. Yeah, Claude 4. Yeah.
It's going to get really interesting.
Do you think Palantir's overvalued, Steve? Dude, you realize how wrong you've been about the Palantir valuation? Like the market has told you we don't give a shit about.
The market can say they don't care.
Like you've been wrong about this.
By any means, they can say I am wrong, and that's fine. Right now, I am wrong, 100%. That doesn't mean the valuation makes sense, and that doesn't mean it's staying here.
I mean, it's been here for a month now.
It's going to be so hard for this to go to 150 to 175.
I agree, but I don't know.
It doesn't have to come down.
But that's all, dude. All of us are sitting on life-changing money on Palantir. We just need it to not go away.
It does not have to go down. I am just saying no company has ever sustained this, and their growth rates are not enough to keep this in the same realm it's in. But that can change. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I think
I gotta look more.
I have 8 minutes. It's on Zoom. I can stay for a couple minutes.
I gotta look more about freaking CoreWeave and Nimbus.
It's not Nimbus.
I call it Nimbus because it's ridiculous.
It's Nebius, bro.
I call it Nimbus because it's ridiculous.
Nimbus. Yeah, look. I agree. Palantir doesn't have to. Palantir needs more time to stay at these levels for us to say, hey, like
it needs to consolidate at these levels.
But it's doing it right now, at least.
Kind of.
What do you mean, kind of? It's been a month.
Bring the chart back up.
Okay, when's the last time it was below 100? Last time it was below 100.
Look at from where it got back to.
Dude, literally April 22nd.
I get
was
that.
The last day it was below 100. Today's May 22nd. It's been a month.
I get that.
So I agree. It's got to be like 5-6 months. But I'm just saying, it's like
we need it to stay here and them accelerate growth in Q2 and Q3 is what we need.
I agree. I agree. But all I'm saying is I don't know if we have to go back to 70. It wouldn't surprise me because I obviously understand the valuation's up there, but I don't know if it has to.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. I just don't think it's realistic. It's going to stay here. That's all.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what else do you think I should talk about? So I'm going to I don't have a PowerPoint or anything. I'm just kind of I'm going off the dome.
Look, in all seriousness, you should tell them that they need to think about retirement now instead of when they're 30 or 40. And they need to think about setting themselves up for the rest of their lives and living within their means and paying themselves first. So when they get their first job, they're not spending all their money on, I'm not going to say what they would be spending all their money on, but they should be putting 25 or 40% away and invested in S&P, invested in quality individual stocks, but pay themselves first and get in the habit of paying themselves first.
Okay, but can you give me a talking point that would actually inspire a 15-year-old besides retirement?
Bring out an investment calculator.
No, but I have that ready. But I'm talking about like something that could strike a nerve with a kid. Like what is? Do you have anything on? If you were given this talk and you wanted to actually motivate them or inspire, because I'm telling you, they're gonna fall asleep if I talk about retirement. There's got to be something interesting.
I mean,
This is what I'm saying. Individual stocks, like they'll perk up if they.
You have to scare them at that point, and you got to tell them the amount of people that come out of high school
That's a good one.
and sign up for credit cards and get into debt, and the amount of people that come out of college with student debt, and it takes decades to get out from under it, and the amount of people that live paycheck to paycheck, to set yourselves up to not be in that situation and not do what everybody else is doing. It may not be fun not going out on a Friday night. It may not be fun living a boring life, but your future self will thank yourself.
That I won. You gotta take this or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, that I agree with. I'm happy I asked that question. I didn't think of the angle about how much it sucks to live paycheck to paycheck, and how much it sucks to get a paycheck and realize none of that money can actually go towards increasing your financial freedom, aka buying assets. But if it's got to go to bills, right? I've been there. I've lived paycheck to paycheck. It sucks when every paycheck is paying off every bill and you have nothing left at the end. That's a good point, Steve. I think that's
you got to scare them and tell them, look, life is going to come around real quick. You're not going to be living off of your parents anymore when you get out of high school, and you're going to have bills. And before you know it, they're going to creep up on you, and you need to have a backup plan. You need to learn how to pay yourself first and create a nest egg, because the last thing you want is debt crippling you.
I agree, dude. Fear is actually a good motivator, bro.
Fear is the best motivator. Why do you think I work so hard? Out of fear.
Yeah. I will try to get this recorded, guys. I will try to get this recorded. I see a lot of people asking if their kids can listen to it.
And also tell them that they should research IRA, when IRA is.
Just buy Bitcoin.
No. But, and tell them, look, there are ways to set yourself up in the future where you pay less taxes on the money that you save, but there are downsides to that also. So you want to have a well-rounded portfolio and put yourself in a position where you have the cash to put a down payment on a house when you are by a certain age. But you also want to have cash building that's tax-free, so when you retire, you're not paying the taxes on the money.
Yeah.
But fear is the greatest motivator.
Dennis, thank you for the super chat. He said, went to my daughter's high school graduation. The valedictorian said, no one is going to help you. I agree, dude. There is something about
nobody's going to help you. 100%.
You're going to be alone most of your life. Like, you live alone, you die alone. You have to deal with the fact that you're going to have to make money alone. Like, you're not going to have your parents forever. Like, it's a hell of a thing to realize. It's you and only you at some point. And you got to
and surround yourself with positive people, like-minded people. And look, if you are interested in investing, you need to find other people that are interested in investing to bounce ideas off of and talk to.
That's another good point, dude. Yep.
It's very important.
I'm happy we're doing this because I didn't even think of because you and Chris being in my life makes me a way better investor, you know?
I mean, just having people to bounce ideas off, because you never know who's going to see something that you didn't see when you looked at something. Because everybody looks at things from a different perspective.
Yeah. Okay, I should go because I have to go do this.
I have to go also, but
all right.
I'll talk to you later. Don't don't do anything crazy.
I won't say the F word during this. All right. Love you, everybody. Appreciate it. Steve won't be on tomorrow, but Steve will get you on Monday. And thank you. This actually really helped me a lot. So I will try to record this and get it to everybody. So
later.
Bye, Steve. Bye, everybody. See you guys when the market open. Bye, everyone.